4,000 views now.
All right. Welcome to the Linus Tech Tips live stream. We just had a pre-show for those of you who are confused where we were trying to make sure that the audios were... Oh, Slick, the camera's crooked.
You helped me line it up.
No,
How did it turn?
I can clearly see that you aligned it so that you'll appear taller.
What?
Why is everything an ego measuring contest with you?
What?
Unbelievable. I mean, it's just immature.
That doesn't
Tell you what,
even make sense.
I'll forgive you if you eat this thermal paste.
You set that up, didn't you? The whole thing.
No, I
You must
actually
have turned
didn't.
the
No,
camera.
Look, do you see how crooked it is?
I do, but you were the one helping me line it up.
For those of you who are wondering, okay, so I spend, how much did I spend on this thing? I spent like a few $100 on, no, the tripod.
Oh.
Maybe it was like 500? I don't know, it was expensive. So I spend like hundreds of dollars on a tripod that has like a fluid head and like, you know, a bubble level inside it. And then Slick's just like, yeah, legs out. Pointed at the thing. In his defense, we've been in a bit of a hurry. We had a disaster.
Oh, God.
The likes of which we have rarely encountered. So it's not, you know what? I'm not usually one to call out a manufacturer on a product where I'm just like, why did this ever make it to market? I can usually see the positive about almost anything. It's like, okay, here's what they were thinking. And I understand why they did this, even if I don't agree with it. Whereas this one is just something that never, ever needed to exist. The Antec cooler box. This is what happened to our Antec cooler box. This is a fan blade. It broke off, causing our fan to destabilize. If you guys have ever heard what a destabilized fan sounds like, you're a little, ugh, wow, you're heavy. If you guys have ever heard what a destabilized fan blade sounds like, it is a loud, obnoxious thing. And so our fan blade just came off, and that...
Just, it sounded like there was a lawnmower in our computer.
Yeah, which basically, given that the mic sits about 1.5 meters away from the computer, would have been a bit of a problem for our live stream tonight. So that was about 12 minutes before we were due to come live?
9
minutes. 9 minutes we had to fix it. So, so the cooler box. Okay, it hit the market at a time when Noctua already had the NHU12P. SE, I think, by that time. Okay, it which has an excellent mounting mechanism, was similarly expensive. I mean, especially when it launched. I think Antec thought they were going to get $59.99 for it or something ridiculous like that. The cooler box has the worst mounting hardware I think I've ever seen on a cooler. Have you ever seen anything worse? Maybe that Zalman one.
That Zalman one
that actually
compete.
You couldn't mount
compete.
on anything. Okay, but this one had these custom little like, so it was a tower cooler, but you know how a lot of tower coolers, they'll have like a hold down plate in the middle and then the fan slides out so you can screw it in and it holds the whole thing in and you have like a square bracket underneath. Or I've seen ones that actually have a hole right down the middle of the heatsink. Like I think the Tunic Tower had that. I've seen ones that have it, and they come with a screwdriver so that you can install the thing. No. The cooler box has Phillips head screws under fins. And then the Phillips head screws have knurls on them, so you can turn them by hand, as if you could tighten a heatsink by hand. And then they also have sort of a wrench hex around them, so you can get in there with a little wrench because you're using this aftermarket cooler on some motherboard that doesn't have VRM cooling, right? It actually took me probably about an hour to install that cooler. And I've installed a number of coolers in my life.
Yeah.
And
totally
to take it off the board is going to take forever. So you guys aren't even going to believe what we have right now. Since I have to fix Slick's horrible camera mounting job anyway, I might as well show you guys this.
I still don't think that was my problem.
I'm still pretty sure. Okay, who set up the tripod?
I set up the tripod.
Okay.
And I was like, all right, is that framed good? And you told me to move it because it's too far over, and you told me to zoom in and stuff because you can see it on the big monitor.
Okay, so check this out, guys. Check this out.
This is awesome.
This is unbelievable.
They can't hear you very well, but this is awesome.
So
there's the ghetto-mounted fan on top. Basically, there's supposed to be a fan in the middle, right behind where it says Antec, and that's where the fan that we had broke. We unplugged that one, put up, I believe, Antec Tri-Cool on top, and just have it on, pushing air through it. So it's
Yeah.
super ghetto mounted.
So tell them this one is disconnected.
That one is disconnected. That he's trying to point at the fan that's disconnected. You can't really see it very easily.
There.
You kind of see it through there.
There's the blades.
But it's in there, and one of those blades is broken, and then there's the one ghetto mounted on top.
It's not even mounted.
It's ghetto mounted as in didn't do anything, just put it on top.
Yeah.
So that's currently our streaming machine. For anyone wondering about how unstable it might be. The camera looks terrible now. Hopefully it autocorrects itself. Yay, camera!
No, it was me. I boosted the game.
Oh, okay. Never mind. But yeah, so that's pretty much the stability of our rig right now. So I think we'll be totally fine. I don't actually really think it's a problem.
That's the...
Without the like not moving fan in the middle impeding airflow and all this other stuff.
That's like everything that's wrong with our live stream is the philosophy that that's probably not going to be a problem.
That's probably okay.
Probably fine. Don't worry about it. So I just realized now that I haven't been looking at Twitch chat or Twitter, so we could have all kinds of issues with our stream at this point, and
I've been paying attention.
good work.
Yeah.
You can be not fired today.
Yay.
Speaking of which, we had a pretty good day at the NCIX studio today.
Because of B-roll.
Yeah, because of our new addition to the team, who goes by the name of B-roll.
Sup?
Awesome.
I can't.
It's like
I'm not a gangster.
See, guys, okay, it's funny because it's like thug sounding, but
B-roll.
also it's like camera terminology.
It's also the B-roll.
So he is a friend of Diesel the interns, and so they have a pretty good like teamwork relationship going on.
And they're not debating every possible
Oh
aspect
man,
of the camera.
they go on and on and on about like, I mean, get this. Okay, get this. Okay. Here.
Are you gonna grab their lenses?
I'm doing that. Okay. So this right here, this is the kit lens that comes with the Sony FS700. You know what? As far as kit lenses go, it's a very solidly built little lens. It's not bad. It's not perfect by any stretch of the imagination, but they have both refused to use it to the point where Diesel brought all of his own lenses into work and just leaves them here because I don't think he has time to do any videoing outside of work these days. And then, get this, B-roll starts on his very first day, shows up, brings all his own lenses. They both refuse to even use each other's fancy lenses. Aside from refusing to use my lens. I'm just like, okay, I guess it means I don't have to buy lenses, which is nice.
And now we understand what random people feel like when Linus and I are jabbering on about random
Like,
things.
memory timings are like...
Because they're sitting there arguing about stuff and we're both just like, I have no idea what's going on.
It's like, really?
What are they even talking about?
It's like, I have no idea. And I mean, the funny thing is, it's all the kind of stuff that no real person watching a video would ever appreciate. Like the actual difference between what they're doing and what could have been done with some cheapo thing. Like I would never notice. And they actually can't even believe that I cannot tell the difference between
24 and
like 24 FPS and 30 FPS, except that 24 just kind of looks like crappier and blurrier to me. Like they're just like, oh, it's more cinematic. I'm like, what do you mean more cinematic? What does that even mean? I think you mean there's...
I've asked a few times actually, and I'm still awaiting the answer. What's actually better about 24?
Okay, the actual explanation is that for the longest time, films were shot at 24 FPS, not because they wanted to, I'm pretty sure, but because it was a technological limitation at the time. Because I think before that it was like 20 or something for silent, and then it was like a big deal when it went up to 24, and then sound, and then something. Like there's some kind of a history, I'm sure Diesel told me at some point, and I was like kind of half listening. And so the idea, sort of the philosophy, is that we've been trained to watch movies at 24 frames per second. And that is why that looks better to us.
Oh, that's so lame.
And I totally don't buy it.
So lame.
Smoother motion is smoother motion. It's not like your eyes operate at 24 FPS. And anyone who tells you that there's some kind of an like FPS limit to what your eyes can see, okay, there's a limit to what you can perceive, but it's not in FPS. It just doesn't work that way. It's not.
Our eyes aren't going.
Your eyes aren't digital. It's not frames. There's no shutter. So it's not quite like that. And while I do agree that there are, at very high frame rates, there are sort of unnatural looking things. But I don't think that's necessarily to do with high frame rate content. I think that's to do with the tricks that go on to make content look higher frame rate than it is. So if you look at something like Samsung's ClearMotion TVs, which operated up to 960 virtual hertz, where it just looks bizarre. You're like, okay. It's because they're taking 30 or 60 hertz content, or 60, remember guys, P, like progressive, is the same as FPS, is the same as hertz in the context of it's just how many per second of something. So hertz is cycles per second. P usually refers to progressive frames per second, and then frames per second is frames per second. So if they were to all align, if you had 60 hertz TV, it would be doing 60 image refreshes per second. With 60p or 60 FPS content, you'd be getting new content on every cycle. Whereas these ClearMotion TVs use backlight flickering, as well as frame rate refreshes, as well as some processing to guesstimate what an in-between frame would look like. So if frame 1 is here and frame 2 is here, it'll kind of create a fake frame here, here, here. And so it ends up looking kind of weird, but I'm not convinced it would look that weird if we actually shot at...
Another thing that kind of blows me out of the water a little bit is like some companies, like gaming companies, will make incredibly awesome in-game cinematics that run at really, really high FPS because they're actively rendered and they don't look weird. So I don't think I'm that trained to look at 24 FPS.
So there's 16 new Twitter interactions, and I'd like to make a bet with you.
Diesel's one of them?
No, I don't think so. I don't think he watches the live
I
stream.
don't think so either.
I'm not that. My ego isn't that. Okay. $5 says out of those 20 that are there now, at least 3 of them are defending 24 FPS. What do you think?
That's interesting.
I'm saying more than 10% are going to defend 24 FPS.
A little bit. Oh, there's
now
30
there's 30.
now.
Uh-oh. See, now, if we let this drag on for too long, then they're just going to decide who they want to win.
Okay, because I was going to say
I'm still willing to say 5.
Okay, let's just go see.
Let's go for it. Let's go for it. Unban Barack Obama. Okay.
That's him. YT Jackson 10102. I know who you are.
Sabertooth Z77 or M-Power. Okay. I think I'm about to lose this one. Glossy versus matte monitor finish. You can't calibrate your monitor on a website. You need an actual tool for that.
See, because the reason why I was going to go against you actually was because I think a lot of these are from before.
Oh.
You started talking about the topic, the live stream is delayed, blah, 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 blah. Now that we're past like the first 5 or 10, they're probably from before.
So I'm in trouble. Mineral oil cooled servers, if it's professionally done, it's probably fine.
Professionally done mineral oil cooled servers are a thing. But you can't just like,
yeah, it's not just like throwing mineral oil at a server.
No, they have that vented to the roof. Like it's
hardcore.
There's other stuff going on than just the mineral oil.
Was Diesel's editing machine built by him? No, I built it. And B-Roll has an editing machine. He actually uses the SteelSeries Showcase PC. So it's got an 875K in it, 16 gigs of RAM, GTX 285 for CUDA acceleration. What's the game with the best AI you've played? I really enjoyed the Fear AI, actually. But it got kind of samey eventually, because their tactics were pretty, well, samey.
Best AI.
Litter Quitter, I will have an update soon, actually. I finally got footage of the cat using it.
The last stage has to be the slowest one, right?
Last stage of what?
The last stage of Litter Quitter?
No.
That's the one that takes the longest?
Oh, no, it's done. It's ready to go. I've just been waiting to catch the cat using it on the camera.
Oh, so are you going to are you going to no Litter Quitter, though?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's going to be the most interesting part.
I think so.
What? Oh.
Okay.
Nope.
Chat's messed up, Linus. The pizza is missing. Oyster pizza. That is quite the thing. That is quite the thing. Please focus the camera on us and not the background. I think we're in focus pretty well tonight.
People said this last time too. I think part of the problem is that he's up here and I'm back here.
Oh, someone says, just for the record, you didn't announce the live stream. Oh, Well, that
It's
video is supposed to be up, and apparently YouTube's just taking its sweet monkey time to go ahead and get that going for us. So, I mean, I don't know. Honestly, we start the live stream. It used to be that I'd kind of wait for YouTube peeps to join us, whereas now, I mean, I figure the people who really want to tune into the live stream are here, and the people who want to wait until the YouTube announcement comes out, well, they can wait until the YouTube announcement comes out, and they can join when they join, and that'll be that. All right. Fears
No.
AI is just clever level design.
No.
Oh no,
Don't.
mineral. No, don't do mineral oil. No. We're gonna talk about the Blackmagic 4K camera a little bit later. Okay, so why don't we dive into our first topic, since no one defended 24 FPS and no one even like came to
Lol.
my rescue here.
Lol.
So apparently I owe you $5.
Was that the? Yes.
Yeah, whatever. You can put it on my tab.
Pretty much. Yeah.
All right, so what do you got for your first topic? What do you want to talk about?
What do you want to do? We can jump right into that.
Yeah, why don't we get into 4K? Okay, so for those of you who don't know, I guess it's not in here, but I'll hold up the lens as a prop. So I invested in.
Wait, one quick second. I'm gonna be tweeting out links to where we got our topics from the whole night.
Oh, okay. So follow at SlickPC on Twitter.
If you want to see links to where we got our information
Yes,
from.
references. So Blackmagic has a 4K camera that, well, first they did their 2.5K cinema camera, which was meant to just kind of turn the entire industry on its head because it was super compact and it was relatively inexpensive. And the only problem was they couldn't produce them because they had issues with the sensor. The sensor was adapted from some other kind of imaging technology, and yields were something and such and such and such. Anyway, so the prototypes worked, and then the production ones didn't, and then they had to revise a bunch of things. Anyway, they're shipping them now, but they've announced 2 new cameras. One of them is a mini version of the other one that instead of shooting at 2.5K only shoots at 1080p, but I mean, it's full HD, but is tiny. Super, super small and only $1,000.
This is like almost GoPro sizing, right?
I mean, it's bigger than a GoPro,
But it's almost,
like
it's getting there.
It's got pro grade features in a camera that's like smaller than a DSLR, which is crazy. And then they also announced a 4K camera that has a price point of $4,000, which may actually turn the industry on its head, because the 4K camera I invested in, which is an $8,000 camera, that was supposed to get a firmware update to make it 4K ready. Okay, so it's not known at this point. First of all, it was supposed to be coming soon when I bought the camera, which was 6 months ago, and it's now coming soon.
And you have to pay for it.
No, not necessarily. They don't know if it's pay or not pay yet. Also, it requires not 1 but 2 additional pieces of hardware to actually record 4K.
Which you do have to pay for.
So which you do have to pay for. So it's going to cost probably like $6,000. Plus, Sony's hardware requires a proprietary format of card to go into it to record to 4K.
So you have to buy their data storage.
Whereas Blackmagic, okay, with that said, the FS is going to do slow motion 4K.
Yeah.
Which is kind of a big deal. Okay, but Blackmagic is 30 FPS 4K. You can record to standard SD cards, or not SD cards, SSDs. Any SSD you want, hopefully, but we don't know that for sure. You never know. You can cross your fingers.
Compression is a problem. If your SSD does on the
Oh, okay, so not on a SandForce SSD, but pretty much anything else, as long as the sustained data rates are high enough. And wait, I think that was the big deal. Yeah, 4K, it's $4,000. You can record. Oh yeah, and it connects via Thunderbolt as well. So you can output via Thunderbolt, which is very, very, very cool. So this sort of led me to the realization that 4K is going to come down in price faster than a lot of stuff did before. Like, do you remember how much a 1080p LCD TV cost at first?
So much. And now you can get like a 1080p, fairly nice big LCD TV for like $700.
But how long did that take? Even like
4 years, 5 years?
Exactly. So the first 4K TV really hit the market last year.
Yeah.
Sony had a $25,000 4K TV. All right. Sony, and this is tied into another one of our news items, is releasing a $5,000 4K TV this year. So we've seen a 1/5 slash in pricing within 1 year. All right. So what that tells us is a couple of things. Number one is people aren't willing to pay a stupid premium for home entertainment gear anymore, which I guess we kind of already knew. Like there's one guy who bought that TV and like, dude, you did good. You know, Sony's really happy about it. Yeah.
Year.
It was probably cool, like the 4K thing that you found to watch on it.
Yeah. For additional reference, they're pretty similar spec.
Yes. Very quite
like,
similar.
Pretty similar spec.
So they've realized that people aren't willing to actually pay extra for that anymore, which is sort of which we learned again with which we've learned already with 3D.
Yeah.
But I think part of it was like, oh well, people don't like 3D, so maybe that's why they're not willing to pay more. But people always like more resolution, so maybe they're willing to pay more for this. It looks like not. And where was I going with this? Right, 4K is coming and it's going to be cheap fast. Right, people aren't willing. I don't think you're ever going to convince consumers that a TV is worth more than $1,000 again. Because right. So the 4 or 5 year cycle that it took 1080p to get from super expensive, I think it was longer than that, super expensive to just super affordable. Whereas 4K, I bet it does it in like 3 years. Like you look at what happened with 3D TVs. Remember how much those cost at first?
Yeah, they were stupid.
5-6 grand.
And no one cared.
And no one cared.
3D kind of sucks.
And there's like the only movies you can watch in 3D are like Avatar, animated movies. Name something else.
Does behind the scenes Avatar have 3D? there's
The Hobbit. The Hobbit's coming, but anyone who paid $6,000 for their TV 2 years ago to watch The Hobbit now
is pretty upset.
Sort of got boned because they could have just gone to the theater and watched it 100 times. Yes.
Wow, that's a really good point. You could just go to theater with a better experience anyways.
And take all your friends with you every time.
Like many
Go see it over and over again.
With everyone.
Until you're just tired of it.
Part of this, I think, comes into like the longevity expectation of the old big CRT TVs, like the big.
That used to have like a wooden cabinet around them that was like nicely crafted and stuff.
Like the longevity expectation of that was huge, so your dad would save up for that forever, and then he'd bring it home and he'd be all stoked.
And he'd be like, "Kids, color!"
Everyone would hang around the color TV, and it was like
more inches.
Yeah, it was a huge deal. It's not anymore.
TVs are so commodity, and so I had recently been considering buying a 4K monitor, and there were a couple of reasons for this. Number one is my 30-inch monitor died, and I need a replacement anyway. Number two was that I want to be able to run 4K benchmarks, and number three is I really, really want one. That's sort of the biggest one. So I was looking at buying one, and I can get one for about $4,500. The Sharp PK321 or something like that is the part number. But what I realized is a couple of things, and this is the biggest thing that I think is going to drive 4K to cascade down in pricing much more quickly. Is the technology to produce it is so mature. Back when LCDs and yeah, I'm getting there. Back when LCDs and or plasmas or anything like it was actually a new, innovative, exciting technology.
Especially plasma.
Especially plasma. Man, those were expensive.
But they were like weird and experimental almost, and like hard to do.
Yes.
Like, ugh.
Whereas the technology to just make a TV higher res, it's like, come on. Okay, this phone is 1080p. Riddle me this, manufacturers. Why exactly, if you can make a 4.7-inch 1080p device, can't you make a 9.2-inch 4K device? Or a 19-inch 8K device?
Like you might have slightly more failure rates, but
why actually can't you do that?
Yeah, you could definitely still
because
do it.
if you can charge $800 for a phone that actually has a processor and some RAM and some flash storage and some cameras.
Well, we got fairly funky. I don't know if you remember this, but I don't know if it was me or you or one of us, but we asked while we were at CES from a couple of the 4K manufacturers, when are we going to see these in like 24-inch monitors? And everyone gave us these just kind of like weird answers.
Like, why don't they want to talk about this?
They do not want to talk about it. Like,
Why
they were
don't
all
wanna
really weird answers.
I don't know. The funny thing to me too, though, is like, it's not like they're making any money on 1080p monitors anymore. I know this. It's
No.
commodity.
The LG 1080p IPS panels.
The $164.99.
$159 now.
Really?
It went
dropped
down again. I didn't want to put it in the
Unbelievable.
weekly sale because I've done it like twice already. I'm just like, it dropped again. I don't know.
Like, it's unbelievable. So if they could even get, you know, like 500, 600, 700 bucks for a 4K monitor, why not? So anyway, I have put off my 4K monitor purchase because guys like Blackmagic are coming in and destroying the artificial margin that's been built up for 4K production equipment. So we're going to start seeing content. Also, you've got guys like Sony realizing, yeah, that's coming. You've got guys like Sony realizing that, oh, people aren't going to pay 25 grand for 4K. Okay, let's try 5K. I think next year they're going to realize that didn't work either. It's going to be 3,500. So as that happens, the undercutting is going to come really fast because the technology is so mature. Everyone and their dog could manufacture a 30-inch 4K display at this point. Like, not everyone and their dog. Like, Slick couldn't do it, no offense.
No.
Like, you're a cool guy.
You couldn't do
respect you and appreciate you. I couldn't do it either. But, the other thing is, right now, Sharp pretty much has a monopoly on professional 4K monitors that don't cost 30 grand, like an ISO. I was like, what, you want 30 grand for it? Are you guys drunk with Sharp releasing a $4,500 competitor, like, now? Anyway, so Sony is prototyping a 30-inch 4K OLED display. With that said, I don't know if I'm sold on OLED on the desktop.
It's kind of weird. They'd have to put like a backplate on it, which would just kind of defeat the purpose.
And I'd have to know that... I'd have to know that it's actually that many of each color by that many of each color. Like, I don't want to see any sort of tomfoolery like what Samsung did with the S3, where your text doesn't look crisp anymore. I mean, the whole point of a high-res monitor or display is crisp image. And if you're using any weird interpolation or anything like that, you're going to end up with a negative experience.
Can I use your... I can't even copy links now. Sorry, completely unrelated.
Slick needs my sexy Aspire S7 that I still love, even though it's not perfect. You know what? I don't think that YouTube announcement has gone out yet for some reason.
We're having some problems with Google tonight.
Yeah.
Google's not so happy with us, I think.
That's just bizarre. I mean, should I just try re-uploading it or something?
Maybe.
That's weird.
Should I give them context so they know even what's going on?
Yeah, sure. For
Okay.
those who are...
So I prepared a document, a Google document for us earlier today for the live stream with all of our topics and everything. And then when we got back here, I went to go try and add some things to it and couldn't edit the document even though it was under my name. Tried on another computer, under my name again, couldn't edit the document again. Like, I'm on the right account, everything's fine, I can't edit the document. Linus goes on, it was shared to him, he was able to edit the document. Kind of weird, but I was still able to like check links and open links and do stuff. Now I can't even like copy things. I can't copy things, I can't open links, I can't do anything. So that's weird. Now, we tried uploading a video and it's just hanging right at the completion part. And it's not actually uploading the video.
Yeah, so it's been sitting there for half an hour because that video should have actually been live around the time we launched the live stream. Either way, for our loyal viewers, all 1,500 of you who didn't need us to launch a YouTube announcement video, thank you so much for tuning in because otherwise it would just be me and you sitting here talking to each other.
Alone in the garage.
Alone in the garage. Okay, it wouldn't be so bad.
We kind of do that a lot.
Yeah, I know, right? All right, what's our next topic? So yeah, 4K. Don't invest yet because it's going to go like this and even faster than before because it used to be consumer electronics and the companies behind them were really good at artificially maintaining margin.
Yeah.
Compared to sort of computer industry where it's just like...
Take everything.
Yeah, free fall forever.
And then if you make any slight increases like RAM, just everyone is just like, no, it's $10 more than it was before.
Yeah, stop buying RAM. So they used to be good at that. I don't think they are anymore. I think it's over. I think people being willing to pay a premium for it is over. And the desperation will set in because the reality of it is you cannot have factories sitting idle. It will not work. That will destroy you faster than producing product at a loss, believe it or not. So there you go.
It's true. It's
Yeah.
completely true. We can do Google buying WhatsApp or Intel Haswel.
Here, why don't we do a little bit of Twitter Q&A since these are apparently our most loyal followers here. All right, just get 3 by the 27-inch Korean IPS displays. Not a bad idea, although I'd probably go 30-inch just because 16 by 9 drives me crazy.
Bioshock Infinite was amazing. Yo, like, whew, possibly the best game I've played in a really long time. Like, Bioshock Infinite was actually amazing. The ending, I'm not going to spoil anything, but just, it's so awesome. I replayed the segment again, just so I could go through everything and make sure that I actually got every single one of the just insane amounts of brain explosions that go on for about half an hour. They just don't stop. Like, it's just, oh, it's amazing. So good. So good. I'm partially doing this just because he hasn't played it yet. But amazing. And, like, huge fan of Bioshock 1. And, oh,
No time.
so good.
Yeah. Speaking of him not sort of doing any spoilers, I did get called out for Harry Potter spoilers in a previous live stream.
Pretty hardcore.
I got an email probably about this long explaining to me that not everyone has read Harry Potter and watched the movies, and apparently I hardcore wrecked the ending. So yeah, I think the other one about me, someone said I should have spoiler alerted my thing about Star Wars. I think that one might have been a troll, but I'm not 100% sure. But the Harry Potter one, I wanted to apologize to all the people who I ruined the ending for. What do you guys? Oh yeah, okay, we already covered that.
There's one. There you go.
One of what?
It's coming up.
Oh, actually 24.97 FPS that matters. Well, thank you. 50-inch, $1,200 4K TV. Seiki 50-inch 4K. Yeah. See, it was a matter of time before, like, that's exactly
faster than
it.
we thought.
Some random underdog, random brand, because it's not actually difficult to manufacture, is going to just do it. And then everyone will have to follow. So Engadget's reporting from SEIKI. They've got a 50-inch 4K TV
I think
for
we saw them.
$1,200.
They're a thing. We saw
Are
them
they?
at CES.
Okay.
I think so.
Well, yeah, so like there's no, I mean, think about it this way, guys. What costs money to make? Is it pixels? Is it physical size? So if you had, okay, so 50-inch diagonal. So if you had a 27-inch LCD monitor, say for example, at 1080p, what does that cost to buy? 250 bucks?
27-inch?
Yeah, if that, 300? Maybe?
TN? IPS?
Let's say not TN.
Ooh,
Maybe
a bit
350?
more then, probably.
Okay, so if you can produce 4 of those for 350 bucks each, then you can probably make a 4K TV for $1,200. And so that's how things need to go. Slick has different clothes today. Oh, Slick.
Got it for free from my grandpa.
And that is how all of your clothes were acquired.
It's either someone gave it to me as a gift or I got it from PAX. So
Yeah, I mean, it's not like every industry hasn't gotten in trouble for price fixing at some point or another, but I mean, it's not even always about price fixing. A lot of the time, it's just like maintaining margin because you actually do need to make money as a company. Like if Linus Media Group operated on no margin for anything that we did, he wouldn't get paid and I wouldn't get paid and we wouldn't eat and we'd go to business.
well, we don't charge anything for our content.
Well,
So
we don't
no
charge
margin.
viewers.
Yeah, we barely charge.
However, you had a brilliant idea for how viewers can contribute to Linus Media Group without actually giving us any money.
Bitcoin mining. Okay, so other people have done this. This isn't an original idea, and people have suggested this on the forum. There's Bitcoin mining pools, and if you join a pool, you can join up with a whole bunch of other people, join together, and try and calculate Bitcoins. The problem is when an organization runs it like us, the only way to really legitimately do it is if we take everything. And we've noticed that a few other people that are doing it aren't that transparent about that point. They're just like, yeah, join our Bitcoin mining tool. Some people spell it out, but not everyone. So,
like for example, Logan from Tech Syndicate has a similar thing going, and it's called out specifically.
it is, yes.
Bitcoin mining for Tech Syndicate is to benefit Tech Syndicate.
Yeah. And if we started one, it would be to benefit us because it's I don't exactly know how it all works, but to be able to make it so that there's like equal payouts and everything, we would have to, I think we have to be doing it too, and like pretty hardcore. And
But that's fine because we can.
we can
turn it on.
we can turn it on, and we probably will at some point.
We probably should at some point. I mean, it feels, even with the volatility lately, I mean,
It's gonna stay around, I think. There's a few of them that seem to be kind of popping up and disappearing, but Bitcoin seems to be kind of staying
the
around.
thing I like about Bitcoin is not the anonymity, actually. I mean, I
It's
think
not anonymous.
that's what, oh, a lot
You
of it
can
is.
track transactions 100%. There's a permanent log of every single transaction.
Okay, but
Every single person knows everything that's going on. Bam.
that's not the impression that I'm under.
That's 100% it. Attaching the ID to your actual person is hard, but if you're... if
Okay,
you're
well
fake-
that's what I'm talking about. Okay, hold on.
So personal anonymity?
Yeah, so it's
okay.
it's a way to electronically still be anonymous without doing a cash deal.
Right, okay.
That's what I mean
thought
by
you were,
I didn't, no, I didn't mean like the
Protecting
actual,
your unique IDs and stuff.
No. So the anonymity, I don't know if I like that much. I mean the
It's going to happen anyways. Personally, I don't care.
okay, yes.
Massive transactions, people always call them out. So
Yes.
it's going to be fairly small transactions, which are pretty easy to do under the table anyways. I really don't think it'll change.
Okay,
anything.
this is true. But the thing that I do like about it compared to other currencies is you can't print more.
Yeah, there's a fixed amount.
There's a fixed number of Bitcoins. So the curve goes like this, how many can exist, and then it maxes. I think, what is it, 30 million Bitcoins or something like that? Can't remember the number. It's something, some number of Bitcoins. And so, I mean, that's the thing that makes something like gold actually valuable, is that you actually can't just cut down a few more trees and manufacture a bit more ink and make more of it. Because there's a finite amount on the earth. And it's actually like useful for something. And that's the one disadvantage Bitcoin has against gold.
It's not actually useful.
Where gold is actually useful. Like it's, you manufacture things
Like you're
with
going
it.
to consume it in some way.
And people just intrinsically value it because it's inert and it doesn't corrode and it's great for, it's all these different things.
It doesn't corrode and all that kind of stuff. Bitcoins aren't going to corrode.
Okay, Bitcoin
You can
doesn't
lose
corrode.
them though. You can legitimately lose Bitcoins and then they're gone forever.
Okay, fair
So
enough.
the fixed maximum is actually going to dip a little bit. But
Right.
the amount that it's going to be measurable, because most people are going to be really careful with their Bitcoins. Because basically, if you have your wallet, because you locally store your wallet, or you can store it in the cloud, but then that's not guaranteed in any way. And
Right.
if they run with all your Bitcoins, or if they just close it all, it's just like, oh, that's
Right.
unfortunate.
So I just wouldn't do that.
No. So if you locally store it and your drive dies, your Bitcoins are gone.
Right. So back up your data. Yet another back up your data lesson.
Yeah.
Back up your money.
Back up your...
Back up your money. Yeah, that. Okay, so it
I'm
looks
gonna be
like our
really
YouTube
interested
announcement's
in-
finally out.
Okay, finally.
Yeah.
I'm going to be interested into the first time that there's a huge e-heist on Bitcoins. When someone jacks like a whole bunch of Bitcoins.
It'll happen at some point.
There's tracked transactions, so I'm wondering how that's actually going to go down. But then like, oh man, I'm sure it'll happen at some point. Someone will figure something out. Like
Yeah.
nothing's completely infallible.
I mean, you look at why it fell so dramatically. It was because Mt. Gox or whatever they call themselves, the biggest Bitcoin exchange, was getting DDoSed for like a couple days. And that caused just mass panic, and the Bitcoin fell to almost half of its recent previous high. With that said, it was on a bubble, so who knows sort of what's going on. So it'll be, honestly, still label me a skeptic. I'm still a skeptic about the whole virtual currency thing. I still think gold and diamonds, and actually probably diamonds to a lesser extent, because if anyone ever figures out how much diamond there actually is out there, I suspect the value is going to go like this. but gold to a greater extent, I think, is going to still be just like it was 1,000 years ago, and 1,000 years before that. It'll be 1,000 years from now still a currency. So there, you can quote me on that. So anyway,
Even if it's not a currency, it'll be highly valued and tradable, just like Bitcoins are.
tradable, yes.
So it's Yeah.
Yeah, you'll be able to get currency for it. Apparently, Uplay got
Uplay-
hacked by some Russians.
Uplay did get hacked by some Russians. They unlocked all their available games, and they got a playable version of Blood Dragon.
Really?
Yeah. So there's some leaked footage online. So be careful if you're worried about spoilers. Blood Dragon isn't being released until May 1st. So if you're waiting for it, we might as well talk about Blood Dragon. Okay, so it's called Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon, but has nothing to actually do with Far Cry 3 other than like the back end. And you'll notice like if you knife some guy, it's the exact same animation. And like sometimes you'll see people running around and it's the exact same thing. And a lot of the enemies are done with like the exact same AI, the exact same movement patterns, like the exact same all that kind of stuff. But the whole idea of the game, the layout of the game, the time frame of the game, all that kind of stuff is different. When you're like roaming around in free roam, there's still like jaguars and stuff, but now they're like robotic and have laser eyes. So Blood Dragon is
That's like headache inducing.
It's
like everything that was bad about gaming.
It's a homage to the 80s. So all the cutscenes and everything are like brutal 8-bit. Your guy is called like Rex Colt, Sergeant Rex Colt.
Oh no.
Which is like just the best name ever. It's it's kind of amazing. The whole thing is an homage to the 80s. It's like, if you've ever heard of Kavinsky, the like techno artist, electronic artist guy, like everything is in that style. There's crazy lights everywhere. LEDs are on everything. Every single ladder, the sidebars are like covered in LEDs and the crossbars are covered in LEDs, and your guns shoot like tracer. Everything shoots tracer. There's just like your like blade just has a big light on it because it's the 80s and we're talking about in the future in 2007. Blah blah blah. Like the whole thing is supposed to be in the future in 2007, so it's in the past now. Whatever. It looks really cool. You can probably only seriously appreciate it if you played games from back in the day.
$15.
Yeah, it's $15. It's standalone, so you don't need to own Far Cry 3. If you were in the Never Settle bundle, you just get it. Every single possible bundle level, so don't worry about which bundle level you're on. You just get, retroactively, you get it. So you'll get an email. That's amazing.
Yeah.
What AMD's doing with their Never Settle bundle, we've talked about this before, but that's just crazy.
Yeah, we'll give them some more attention yet again. That's a $79.70. If you bought that or anything remotely like it in the last few months, you're probably going to get a copy of Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon. So there you go. Very, very cool. And I mean, it's so rare to take a customer that you already got their money
and give more things to them.
And they bought a graphics card, so it's not like they're going to be a customer again for a bit until they're done with that graphics card. And just be like, okay, here you go.
Here's like a what is probably going to sell incredibly well additional adder.
Yes. And it's like, it's not like it doesn't cost AMD anything. Like, guys, do not underestimate how much it costs manufacturers to include a game with your piece of hardware.
One of the most confusing things I saw, this was on the forum actually, I don't remember who it was or what thread it was in or anything, but someone was like, I don't take games into consideration when buying graphics cards because I'm just going to buy them anyways. And I was like,
oh my goodness.
Like, you're going to buy that anyways. Having it come with your graphics card is literally only saving you money.
It's like cash.
It's pretty much putting cash in your pocket.
Especially if you were going to buy it anyway. If you weren't going to buy it anyway, then maybe you don't factor it in.
Don't really factor it in. Yeah.
Wow, really?
100%. And I was just, all my confusion.
Yeah, and I mean, honestly, I've heard this argument before too. People are like, "Oh, well, the game manufacturer should just give the game to the graphics card guys to like get it out there." And I'm just like, that's like the most asinine thing I've ever heard.
If they give you like a discount code, yeah.
That's like
or a trial.
That's like saying that Red, the camera company that makes super high-end 4K cameras, should just give their cameras to every studio to use to get their name out there. That's their customer. It's the only customer they have. Like some new game with some fancy engine. Like, if they gave it to everyone who bought a new graphics card, they just gave it to everyone who could possibly buy it. Like, that's not getting your name out there. That's just giving away potential sales. That's not how marketing works.
Not at all.
Like, at all.
So yeah, Blood Dragon looks amazing. It's $15, so it's like nothing. If you can't afford $15 right now, wait for the summer sale. It'll probably go on sale.
Yeah, probably.
So if you're worried about the $15 now, it'll probably be 10 or 8 or something.
Or it'll come like bundled with something
Or
else
it'll
that's
come
like
bundled with something,
cool.
considering it already is. I don't know.
Back up your money and data. Yes. YouTube announcement just went up. Yeah, we know. Apparently it's sunny in the down under town. It's raining like crazy here, so it sucks.
Yeah.
Bitcoins are obtained by basically calculating numbers. Which
You do calculations, and the calculations are getting harder all the time. At the beginning, anyone with any random CPU could start calculating getting bitcoins. It has now become to the point where if you actually expect to get bitcoins, you better be CPU and GPU mining. And it's going to get to the point soon where if you actually expect to be getting bitcoins, you better be running a Seek miner. And after that, I don't even know what to expect. But yeah, it's getting brutal because everyone is jumping on this. And like just solo mining by yourself with a CPU is like if you
pretty
get,
much pointless.
If you get bitcoins, like good job, that was pretty lucky.
Because it's basically only the last person to finish the final number crunch, so to speak, actually gets the benefit of all the work that went into creating that Bitcoin.
I took this analogy from someone else, so this isn't my idea, but I don't remember the guy's name, so I can't actually quote him. Sorry. But the way he described it, and it was really good, is it's a gigantic mine at the beginning, and all the top is just covered in bitcoins. And as you go down, there's less and less and less bitcoins, and the rock and everything gets denser and denser and denser. So it's harder to get, and there's less. The calculations are harder, the calculations take longer, and there's less of them. So as we go down and down and down and down, it's going to become almost impossible for people running just CPU mining to get anything.
Yeah. Here, let's move into another one of our discussion topics for the night. Why don't we talk about the increases in speed for a couple cool interfaces?
All right, so USB 3.0 is going to apparently be increasing their spec to 10 gigabits per second, and Thunderbolt is, next-gen Thunderbolt is supposed to be 2 times faster.
So 20 gigabit per second.
Yeah.
So the arms race between USB 3 and Thunderbolt is in full force. So for those of you who don't know, I guess let's do a little bit of discussion about USB 3 and Thunderbolt. So right now, they're rated at 5 gigabit per second for USB 3 and 10 gigabit per second for Thunderbolt. Now, you know, this is kind of funny because I've heard the argument that USB 3 is inferior, just in general, because much like USB, so remember the old USB 2 versus FireWire argument?
Yeah.
Where FireWire was 400 megabit per second, USB 2 was 480 megabit per second, but it was a shared bus. So all the USB 2 ports had to share that bandwidth, but FireWire was a dedicated point-to-point, you have this no matter what. You know what? I call bollocks on that argument. That's a stupid argument. And I've heard the same one for Thunderbolt versus USB 3, because quite frankly, who is the only person in the world who has plugged so many USB 3 devices in that they've saturated them to the point where they're not fast enough with 5 gigabit shared? How many devices do you need that are very demanding and very intensive, plugged into a computer at a time?
No average user, but they've got like a keyboard, a mouse, maybe a standalone mic.
And then some kind of storage thing.
Maybe a storage
Or like
thing.
a capture thing. And that's probably it.
And then they've still got like tons of headroom.
And there's still headroom, for sure. Unless we're talking like 4K capture or something like that. In which case, you know what? You should probably just be recording to an SSD directly anyway over a real storage interface.
Or have like a standalone added card.
Because the problem with Thunderbolt is that it's actually not, it doesn't perform that great. Back when we tested USB 3 versus Thunderbolt with dedicated storage devices, in fact, I think one of them's on the wall behind us, kind of right there. Sorry, no, I'm trying to point in the camera, not
I know,
point
but you
to.
poked my
Sorry.
head.
What we found was that USB 3 was better optimized for random I/O, which means it's more like SATA than Thunderbolt and actually performs better unless the data is entirely sequential than Thunderbolt.
Which is just, it's better optimized, in my opinion.
And I mean, to me, yeah, Thunderbolt is interesting as like a single sort of point-to-point.
And it's kind of nice if you have like 2 baller monitors.
Yeah.
You just be like, doop.
But I mean, even that is like, why?
I don't
Does
care.
it actually matter? And the fact that the bandwidth drops after each daisy chain means you've probably lost a good 25 to 30% of it by the time you reach that 5th or 6th device. We've measured about a 10% drop each time. And that's not even in bottlenecked situations. So that's us taking just like 2 hard drives and going, how fast is this one now?
Just going off the second one. So
Yeah.
there's nothing going on with the first one.
Nothing going on with the first one. So it's like, it's not it's not that great. I'm not that sold on this whole Thunderbolt thing. I mean, if it was actually optical the way that it was supposed to be,
Yeah.
and it could do distance, then that'd be cool. But USB 3 with an active cable,
Because yeah, we've got powered like awesome, or not powered, but like chips on each end, active cables that
you could do
can
10
extend
meters,
it.
no problem.
Yeah,
That's pretty far.
it's quite substantial.
That's as far as I can imagine most things you plug into a computer needing to go. So, I mean, I think Thunderbolt is probably going to go the way of FireWire. There, you can quote me on that. Unless it gains such widespread adoption that, you know, your entire system is connected to the entire everything else via Thunderbolt.
But then you've got $50 a cable.
No, well, they'll be cheap by then, in all likelihood.
It's taken a long time.
It hasn't been out that long. It's been out like a year and a half. Come on.
Still, they're still $50 a cable than they were when they came out.
Well, okay, yeah, but it's not mainstream. It's still niche.
But then it has to get mainstream.
It has to get mainstream somehow.
USB 3 is just...
It may just be doomed to be just niche, and that'll be that forever. And the unfortunate thing about Thunderbolt is that it requires compatibility through the chipset itself, through the CPU. Like, Thunderbolt will not work on an X79 platform because it has to be integrated with DisplayPort, which means it has to have an onboard video component. So the only way Thunderbolt's going to be able to be implemented on computers is going to be not like FireWire, where you could just put an add-in FireWire card. You can't do that with Thunderbolt. You have to have a supporting infrastructure as well. So I think that's going to be a major stopping
kind of brutal
point for it as well. I mean, think about it this way. The only real application I can think of for Thunderbolt, even at 10 gigabit per second, never mind 20, is something like professional video capture.
Yeah.
And maybe it's just the industry I'm in, but that's the only thing I can really think of, or any kind of mass data professional capture. Okay.
But then you're at like super niche professional level anyways.
Yes. And does super niche professional level anything use a single socket consumer grade machine?
Oh, that's a really good point, because now they have to use USB 3. Interesting.
Right?
That didn't clue right away.
X79 doesn't support
It won't have
Thunderbolt.
it. And then the second you go to dual CPU, it's not going to have onboard graphics.
That's right.
Lol.
So I don't know.
There's some, I guess.
We'll see what happens. And I mean, the problem with sort of Thunderbolt sort of connecting everything is why? And how long is it going to take? We still have VGA cables around, for crying out loud.
Do you know a single dual CPU board that has DisplayPort? Because there's some servers, like servers will have onboard graphics, but I don't know any that have DisplayPort.
Most of them have VGA still.
Yeah, not DisplayPort.
Like, you look at how slow professional grade equipment actually moves.
Why would you have a server with DisplayPort? That's ridiculous anyways. That's why I would never see it on
Or like
there.
a high-end workstations type of device. I mean, maybe. But we're talking so niche for so long that by then it just might not actually be relevant. I mean, if USB 3 was able to react with a speed bump this quickly, is there another one in there?
It's USB. They move pretty quick.
I mean, they were slow with USB 2. That kind of stuck around forever.
But USB 2 was kind of that golden medium at the same time.
Yeah.
Everyone loved it.
And it was
And
cheap.
it won. And then just kind of hung out.
I still wish every keyboard was PS2, though.
Yeah, I wish every board had, like, 100%.
Every
I couldn't be
keyboard
more with you on that
needs
one.
to be PS2.
Oh my goodness.
27 and 30-inch monoprice monitors are a good value. They're basically just like, North American QC on those cheapo Korean panels. 100 watts over USB. Wow. Fascinating. Hadn't heard about that yet. Cool.
Epic.
So you're not only going to be able to transfer massive data over USB, but you're going to be able to, like, keep your drink warm.
That's actually pretty crazy.
TP-Link products, never really gotten into it, to be perfectly honest. I've never actually held one in my hands. Unless I unboxed one once.
I'm pretty sure we have.
Did we? Okay.
I know I have, but it was outside of work. Inside of work, I think we have at least once.
Not memorable then. Will we ever see external graphics through Thunderbolt? Yes. So that's an application where it could be a big deal.
Do we still? No, we don't still have.
No,
that
I
thing.
sent it back.
Okay.
We had a Magma enclosure, but it's not. The drivers are not enabled by AMD and NVIDIA yet.
It'll get there.
Does getting a sound card in your... No, of course not. Thank you so much for the help. Before, Linus, what is one of your all-time favorite childhood games? TIE Fighter, Final Fantasy VI.
Morrowind, but I don't know if that counts as far enough back to say childhood. So Red Alert 1, Red Alert 2, Diablo 1, Diablo 2.
Oh yeah, and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles on NES. Oh, that was such a good game.
I forgot about that. So good.
Can you do sound card reviews? Not really. The problem with sound cards is beyond me just saying, holy crap, this sounds good, it's great, go buy it.
There's tons of really, really hard to do in-depth things that you'd have to do to actually review it accurately.
Yeah.
And it would take a huge amount of time.
Like, actually, I don't think anyone actually has the gear to properly do a sound card review. Where if you were taking the looks like we're live again. Yay! So, I don't know. It's the universal fix, which is...
Sorry, little comedic break. One of my forum moderators just added a plus side to this whole situation that, well, the stream is down, the forum's actually up. So, yeah! Yes!
Oh, man.
0.1 for A-Team.
So hopefully it stays up this time. It looks like the problem was related to us somehow. All I did to fix it was power cycled the router, which reminds me of that South Park episode where the entire internet in all of America goes down, and it turns out that it just needs to be unplugged and plugged back in. So there you go. Not sure exactly what was going on because for whatever reason, I was able to load web pages like YouTube and Twitter. Like I was tweeting while our internet was out and we were not able to stream on Twitch. So very, very bizarre. I'm just going to tweet that we're back up. So at least I think we're back up. We have 12 viewers, so all 12 of you who hung with us here, thank you very much. So I want to pick up where we left off on the Haswel integration of VRM into the CPU. So it used to be that motherboard manufacturers could differentiate themselves both in terms of cheaping out on voltage regulation as well as in terms of putting really premium voltage regulation on their high-end boards, because the more stable the voltage you can deliver to the CPU, the better the overclocking experience. Because you're able to reach those higher frequencies and not have it just like freak out and especially burn out over time. So by putting this on the CPU, Intel's done a couple of things. Number one is they've prevented cheapo motherboard manufacturers from making their CPUs look unstable and crappy by not building a good enough board to go with it. But they've also removed the ability of motherboard manufacturers to differentiate from each other in yet another way. What's actually left? What will Gigabyte or Asus or MSI or some premium motherboard manufacturer do to make their board premium?
We've got like built-in Wi-Fi, which is already like pretty niche on a desktop motherboard.
They can't change RAM performance.
Oh, okay. What? That's a weird. You asked me what they could do.
Oh, let's say let's take all the things. Well, okay, what they could do was going to be a very short list, so I was going to go with what they can't do. So they can't change RAM performance because it's all on the IMC. They can't change graphics performance because the only thing they can do now even is
onboard.
What?
They can't.
They can't change graphics performance in general. What are they going to do?
Yeah, but like
they can put more PLX splitter chips on. Go, oh, we have 4-way 16X. But really, what they're doing is they're taking those two 8X and they're just splitting them,
which is brutal.
Which is not actually increasing the bandwidth. Just so you know.
It's just kind of not that good.
It's like if you have like a funnel and you turn it upside down. It's like, yeah, it's really wide here, but you can only get this much water through it, so who cares? And it actually increases latencies as well. So they can't differentiate on graphics performance. They can't differentiate on overclocking anymore.
Which is brutal.
Which is about all that's left
because the
right
biggest
now.
thing has been like overclocking motherboards. Now it's just going to turn into like lifestyle motherboards.
They can't differentiate on I/O really because Wi-Fi, Bluetooth.
Which like everyone's going to do it now because it's one of the few things you can do to make a premium motherboard.
And what else is there?
Wi-Fi, Bluetooth.
Thunderbolt.
Thunderbolt. Really nice built-in sound.
USB 3s still is built into the new chipset, so they don't even get to differentiate by being like, we have lots of USB 3.
What do you think is going to be next? I kind of think it might be sound.
Sound? you know what? The problem with sound is that most people don't even get it. They don't even appreciate it. They don't even know they need
what
it.
else? What else is there? They're gonna take another thing off on the
Killer
next
Nick?
iteration.
Honestly, though, MSI's gaming motherboards have E2200 Killer Nick gaming.
Oh.
I'm still not convinced it does anything.
I like Intel LAN. Intel LAN's solid.
Yeah, it kind of is. So, I mean, color schemes would actually still sway my buying decision.
Sales teams could totally do it. Like the that one's not it. That one's on a bench. Dang. The Asus ROG logo that can like breathe and stuff.
Yeah,
That's cool.
Lighting effects,
The
modding.
lighting effect on that motherboard, where it kind of like looks as if the one corner's like cracked where the sound section is. Like that's cool.
Someone needs to bring back UV reactive motherboards as well.
100%.
That would be like balling.
MSI should come out with the rainbow board again.
And you know what the funny thing is? Is they're gonna have all this extra space on the PCB where no traces are actually routing to build in like random extra functionality.
That always looks so awkward.
I know.
Some company, just for jokes, should just like fill it with capacitors that go nowhere.
Like they're not even capacitors. They're just like
With shells.
Like they look like little Pepsi cans or something. It's just like,
MSI could do like shell casings. They just have a fake pile of shell casings in the corner
Like,
that does nothing.
on the board.
Like it's not a heat sink. It's not.
It's just sitting there.
Yeah,
It does nothing.
that'd be fantastic. It can light up.
I mean, that's pretty much where we're heading though, because
We can bring back onboard speakers, and when you go into overclocking mode, it can like rev up or something.
so here's the thing: is I mean, I don't know if I brought this up to you, but one of Intel's engineers didn't ask me anything on Reddit.
Yeah, yeah.
And what he said was that Haswel would be an overclocker's delight. And a lot of people interpreted that to mean that unlike Ivy Bridge, which really, because it didn't overclock to the same frequencies as Sandy Bridge, about 10% lower, its 10% improvement in IPC, that is the performance per clock, actually was offset, making them, for an overclocker, perform equally. So there was no performance improvement. So what a lot of people interpreted this Haswell comment to mean was that Haswell would be some kind of a beast amazing overclocker that would bring IPC improvements and improved frequencies. And we don't know that it won't, because I don't think anyone has their hands on anywhere near production silicon yet. What I think he meant is that Haswell will be overclockable on any platform, on any cheapo board. So all of a sudden, you can buy a $119.99 board and you will get exactly the same performance as someone who just blew $400 on their motherboard.
Yeah.
Exactly the same performance.
Which is just kind of nuts. You know one of the interesting value adds to is that you can overclock your computer with a mobile device.
And they're no longer locking down base clock overclocking the same way they used to.
Right, yeah. What are the new tiers now?
100, 125, and 166 or something like that, if I recall correctly. So you're not going to be locked into, because it used to be only on unlocked chips you could boost up the multi. Now you're going to be able to set different base clock levels in much the same way that we used to be able to do with, oh crap, I can't even remember. It was like hyper transport multis or something stupid like that on AMD chips. I don't remember what it was anymore, but you could actually overclock the system bus in some weird way. But there were different actual start. Oh, it's kind of like a RAM divider there. So it's sort of like a RAM divider where it'll turn up with the rest of the system, but you could clock it, you could bring it back, and then it would still be within threshold. And so I think it's going to be kind of like that, but it remains to be seen. I haven't actually played around with it yet. So that's exciting. Someone's asking why I'm hating on my international viewers. I'm just looking at Twitter right now. I don't know how I hate international viewers. I love international viewers. You guys are awesome.
We're streaming at a time that should be like easier for
No, actually it's not.
No?
It's like 4 in the morning in some parts of Europe.
We're hitting like right in the Atlantic Ocean, aren't we?
Yeah. For like prime time. Prime time is like,
Oh no, the other way.
there's like one dude somewhere on an island
Japan and Russia.
that's like no,
and part of
even
Russia.
Japan is at the same time zone as Australia.
Oh, brutal.
Yeah, so it's like
Didn't even
early
think about that.
afternoon.
So we're literally hitting like on the water.
Yes.
God, that's bad.
So it's like someone's watching us at breakfast in like the Middle East. And then someone's watching us at like prime time in the middle of the Pacific Ocean.
Beautiful.
Yeah, so
We're
it's
gonna
actually
change our time at some point.
not even at some point. We're gonna
Soon.
change our stream time very soon. My wife's going back to work. Her maternity leave is over in a couple of weeks, and her new shift schedule is gonna have her coming home at 9:30 on Friday nights, which means Slick and I will not be able to start streaming at 9 o'clock on a Friday night because I will have the baby. So we are going to move it in the next 2 weeks. In fact, you know what we should do is we should create a forum thread. We should create a poll.
Definitely.
Okay, we're going to create a poll on the forum. We want you guys to vote for what time you want us to do the live stream.
We'll come up with a couple options.
Yeah, we'll come up with some options that actually work for us.
Hopefully the poll actually works for us.
No, my last one did.
Okay.
It's all good.
Did you add things to it? Did you add more than 3? or
Yes,
whatever?
tons.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's all good. But we'd love for you guys to help us pick the optimal stream time so that you guys can actually tune in. Someone asked, what if Thunderbolt is in a dedicated GPU? It doesn't work that way. Thunderbolt has to be tied in very tightly to the platform itself.
Someone just tweeted at me telling me to check chat. Chat, for us to be able to, it's nearly impossible for us to be able to check up with chat. We're not always looking at the screens. We're often looking up the camera. I try to check things as often as I can, but it's mainly for
Twitch
stability.
chat moves like this.
It's insanely fast. If you tell me to check chat, I have no idea what you're talking about.
And I mean, we've talked about what to do about this, and we don't know because slow mode everyone hates. Honestly, I think slow mode's kind of stupid.
It's really slow if you actually have stuff to say.
It allows for no back and forth, no conversation between viewers.
And it's really difficult because we still have tons of people in the chat, so it's still going fast, but now none of the conversations make any sense.
Yes.
Subscriber mode, once we have a subscriber button, is ridiculous because
I
then
don't like it.
Only paying people get it.
Yeah, and we only stream once a week. So if we were asking, what is it, $5 a month?
It's $5 a month, and we only stream once a week, which is ridiculous
so that
already.
would basically work out to like $1.25 a stream.
Which honestly isn't that bad, but like
But it's for the privilege of being able to talk to other people who paid $1.25 to watch the stream.
which is just kind of nuts. So that's not okay. And then full flowing is also not really okay.
Not
And then-
okay. So my solution is, guys, get off the Twitch chat and get on Twitter. Because Twitter is manageable.
At least I can keep on reloading my Twitter and then slowly read through it as I look down. It's a lot easier to deal with.
Like I can go like this and I can go, okay, here's some of the Twitter stuff. Here's the most relevant. It gives me a timestamp so I can actually, it doesn't move as I'm trying to read it, which is really nice. So guys, however much you might, oh, I don't use Twitter because celebrities use Twitter, or whatever reason you have for not using Twitter, get over it because it's actually useful.
Follow like 2 people and just log into it on Fridays for an hour and a half.
Use it for nothing else. That's fine. Use it for nothing else. I actually don't care.
You don't even have to follow us. Just
I have a lot of
tweet at
people
us.
that are like, oh, I wish I... You know what's funny is on my Facebook, it says, don't message me here. I have 100 unread messages in my inbox that are from like the last few weeks. It says, don't message me here. Message me on Twitter. I don't check these messages. I get messages from people that say, I know it says not to message you here, but I don't have a Twitter account, so this. And I'm like, wow, just wow. Twitter is free. If you actually want a response, actually following the instructions that I give is probably helpful. So, yeah.
Some guy just tweeted me, why don't you use TweetDeck? Adjustable columns make it easier to monitor. We're not complaining about Twitter being easy to monitor, man.
Yeah, Twitter's easy to monitor. We like it.
We're complaining about Twitch chat.
It's good. Okay, so won't power features play a big part for Haswel boards and overclocking? Absolutely not, because power is now on the chip. Will a 65-watt Celeron or a Pentium get as hot as a 65-watt Core i3 at full load? It really depends. I mean, TDP is one of those things that's been measured a billion different ways by a billion different companies at every different point in time, because it's all about how they want to present the data. There were Prescott CPUs that kicked out a lot of heat and were rated at this TDP because...
That's, whenever anyone talks about... For some reason, that series of CPUs, whenever I hear the name, I always think of like an old man in a suit.
It was named after some kind of like war dude or something.
Yeah,
I can't
like
remember.
It's very official.
He apparently was like a bad dude, if I recall
really?
correctly. Yeah,
I
wasn't a
didn't know
good thing.
I remember it was off some, but anyways.
Apparently it's breakfast time in Denmark.
Awesome.
Denmark, it's like sad badminton news all over the place. Peter Gatta retired not that long ago, and I saw he was doing training for what's her name's farewell match as well. So one of their premier lady players is retiring as well, and there's like not that they have a doubles pair that's sort of performed really well at the Olympics and is fairly well regarded. You don't care. Whatever, anyway.
No idea.
Yay, Denmark! Badminton. 6 a.m. in Ireland. Okay, that's pretty early for breakfast. I don't eat breakfast at 6 a.m.
Yeah, I'm sleeping. Screw that. Probably just
Actually, you're probably probably not asleep yet. Actually, I've seen like 2 videos from the slow-mo guys. Oh my gosh. Oh crap, I can't remember the name of the company. Phantom cameras. They have a 4K 1000 FPS camera.
What?
That they were showing off.
How much does that cost? Can you even get
100,
a price
160 grand.
My goodness.
What I wouldn't give, like if I could give up a part of my body to have one of those, I wonder what it would be.
If you could give up a part, what would you give up?
Yeah, like what's the most that you'd be? Okay, you know what? If I
Personally, nothing. Not interested.
I would give a single testicle.
What?
You only need one.
Well, I would give a kidney there.
A kidney?
Yeah.
You'd give a kidney over a testicle.
Yes.
Why?
Because you don't need both your kidneys.
But you actually don't need both of your testicles.
I'd rather give up one of my kidneys.
Why?
I don't know. That's just weird.
Because a kidney, okay, the thing about a kidney is if your other kidney fails, then you only have one and you're going to die.
That's probably
unless you get a donor. Whereas a testicle, if your other testicle fails, your hypothetical children that you now don't have to worry about, no one will care and no one will die.
I just people with knives can just stay away from that area. That's nope. Just go away. That's all I have to say. Just leave that part of me alone.
Huh.
He's good. Everybody else is good.
That's very interesting. That's just but I mean kidneys are useful. They actually do stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, like they filtered bad things from your pee. 2 is
You
better
know what
than
I would
1.
do too? After
What?
I gave one away, just sell the camera.
To sell the camera. So you're saying, okay, so hold on a second. You're saying you'd put a cash money price. Okay, this doesn't work if you're only looking at it as cash. The idea is that the Phantom 1000 FPS camera has some intrinsic value to me because it's this super high-end piece of kit that you could do really crazy cool stuff with. Okay, how about this? If you could have, let's see, what's like something that you really care about? If you could, I don't know, apprentice under Gabe Newell for the rest of his career or something.
Oh.
Like you could just kind of follow him around every day. He might not even talk to you, but you just get
Oh.
to kind of hang with him.
Oh.
Okay, fine, he talks to you.
Okay, am I apprenticing under Gabe Newell or am I creepishly following around?
A little from
Like-
column A, a little from column B knowing you.
What? How does that even make any sense?
Okay, you're okay, fine, let's say not forever. Let's say a year. A year is a lot, but he actually gives you attention.
If he tries to teach me and train me and pass on wisdom.
Testicle?
Probably. That would be so cool. I would have to buy the most experimental no sleep drugs ever, just so that I could just not sleep for a year and just absorb all possible information, and then try to get a job at Valve. Because what else do you do at that point?
Okay, so same thing. Okay, fine. Without the Gabe Newell apprenticeship, let's say you don't even get to talk to Gabe, but you get to work at Valve. Testicle?
Very possibly. That company is just a cool company. And just so awesome. That is a very cool company. Honestly, I don't want kids, so realistically this situation is not that difficult to choose. But a camera, I just don't care about.
Right. But think of all the cool slow-mo stuff.
Don't care.
1000 FPS. Oh.
I have no, okay, that's cool. I can film, my dog jumping for a ball.
No.
Because those are cool
At
videos.
1000 FPS, you can film a
You can
sneeze.
do a lot of stuff, yeah.
And
And that's pretty cool, and I'll watch that on YouTube from the slow-mo guys or whoever it is. And I'll watch a few videos and then get bored because they're all the same and then not care, which is exactly what would happen if I owned the camera.
The punch in the stomach is pretty good.
The punch in the stomach?
Have you seen the slow-mo guy's stomach punch?
I don't think so.
It's kind of amazing. Yeah.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah, it's like actually kind of awesome.
That's pretty cool.
Okay, so what other discussion topics do we have here? Because honestly, the Twitter questions are pretty weak tonight. No offense, guys.
Okay, so I'm just going to jump into the Bethesda announcement. So Bethesda announced that they were going to announce...
An announcement.
I think we went one too far, but that's...
No, they announced that they were going to... Oh, no, yeah, you're right.
They announced that they were going to announce something. It's not anything to do with Elder Scrolls Online. It's not anything to do with Dishonored. If you look at their other IPs, they're not going to be doing anything with the Elder Scrolls other than the Elder Scrolls Online for a while. So that's pretty much off the table.
Hold on. Do you think it has something to do with some LucasArts thing that they've acquired? I wonder.
That's interesting. That's quite different from what they do.
So?
But that doesn't matter. It could mean that they do it. That's actually really interesting. What a lot of people are speculating, and I would agree, that is that it might be another thing in the Fallout series. Because it's about the right amount of time. Not that long ago, they were hiring developers for a new game. It just kind of makes sense. It slots properly, so it kind of makes sense. So it's very possibly Fallout. But with everything that just happened with Star Wars, that's really interesting.
What
and
if
Disney does, like...
They just said, we're going to outsource crap.
We're going to outsource crap. And when Disney does that, they outsource everything and they get it done. It's not like a lot of IPs where they're like, oh yeah, we're not going to develop this, but someone can pick it up and it dies. Disney actually tries to outsource things. So this actually might happen. And that would be really interesting.
A Bethesda Star Wars thing.
I still think that would be actually potentially really cool.
Because I kind of maintain that Fallout and Elder Scrolls are kind of the same thing in a different setting.
Oh, yeah.
What if it was in a Star Wars setting?
Fallout 3 and Elder Scrolls are very similar.
Yeah.
That would be pretty cool. And like they could change it up. They've changed it up. Dishonored's very different compared to...
That would actually be like the coolest thing ever.
I still think it's probably not. But...
Khajiit Jedi?
What?
It's like they already have cat-like reflexes, so they'd be like that much better.
You just love Khajiit.
Predictively cat-like. I just like cats.
Khajiit.
Whatever, man.
What if they came out with servals? Serval Jedis.
Serval Jedis, yeah. For those of you who don't know, my goal in life, provided my wife doesn't figure out how to shut it down, is to get a serval, which is an African wildcat that is anywhere from 25 to about 40 pounds, depending on the serval itself. So if you haven't seen one before, they look a little something like, I hope I'm switching to the right view here. So they look a little something like this. So they are like a serious business wildcat, like not a house cat.
I almost just said they have a weird form factor. Their body looks kind of chunky.
There's another one. Yeah, they have kind of a strange build. They have long legs, so they hunt small animals in tall grass. So see here, that's probably a serval in kind of its natural habitat.
That makes sense.
So their ears are big like this, so that they can hear. So they actually hear their prey. They don't really rely on seeing it, and then that also helps with heat dissipation. Form factors and heat dissipation. See, we can't get away from PC talk no matter how hard we try. And then they have kind of a short tail. They're not climbers, so they don't use their tail for balance the way that a lot of cats do. And then they have like long legs for jumping. So here, oh yeah, this is a good one to give you an idea of how big a serval is. So that's a grown human being, and that's a serval next to them. Here's someone cuddling their serval. So yeah, I would really like to have one of these. They are not a domesticated cat by any stretch of the imagination, but if you adopt them very young, and there are breeders here in Canada that are actually not that far away, you can tame them, which is different from domestication.
I guess no one knows what I was just laughing at.
What were you laughing at?
You struggling so hard to close that window and then move it over to Twitter.
Oh, I know. It's like this stupid ball thing. It's not actually that easy to use. You can't use it at all.
Not at all.
You shouldn't be laughing.
I was just laughing because it was funny. I knew how difficult it was. We should do the last news item of the week. We've done all of them. Nope.
Nope.
EA Worst Company of the Year.
Yeah.
We should do that so we can finish up news items of the week.
Yeah, so EA is the worst company of the year for the second time running. I don't buy it.
Neither of us do. Yeah, EA kind of screws around a lot, and we've ripped on them a lot on the stream.
Yeah,
but
we
they-
actually, like, I don't think, probably more than anyone else, we've ripped on EA.
Probably because there was that little stint. But they do not deserve that, to be
Yeah.
completely frank.
I mean, what's the worst thing they can do?
They can have, like, inconsistent servers.
Or, like,
and
a bad patch.
bad patches and, like...
Or, like, release, like, release day DLC.
See, like, this is all horrible stuff.
First world problems.
But they're not BP Oil.
Yes.
They're not Bank of
not-
America.
They're not a private military company.
They're not insurance companies. They're not oil companies. They're not prostitution rings. They're not,
Like, actually bad things.
So, like, yeah, guys.
They're
EA
not
won
healthcare.
again.
They're not okay. I mean, and remember, it's worst American company. They're not like healthcare insurers that just bone you. There's actually worse companies. But I think it's just a bunch of like. Sorry about that. I think it's just a bunch of sort of butthurt internet people that vote on this.
It's a whole bunch of gamers. Like, it makes sense, and, like, I understand why you guys are voting for EA. They've probably wronged you, but come on. Bank of America was on that list. Like, there's some really brutal companies that were on that list. And, like, companies that should have been on that list, but weren't.
And just in terms of the actual impact of what EA does, if tomorrow EA did the worst thing they could possibly do to every single one of their customers, it wouldn't be anywhere near the impact of one tanker spill.
Or,
That
like,
could have been prevented by some kind of negligence or whatever else. And anything EA does, I don't think any of it's malicious. I think it's misguided and negligent.
and they're doing things that they should probably read into their market more and figure out they shouldn't do.
Negligence.
Yeah.
Again,
They're
same
trying
thing.
to, they're trying to grab money. Everyone tries to grab money. They're just doing it in very poor ways, and they need to fix that. But, like, it's not...
But at least the way that they grab money isn't you need gasoline to get to work. Therefore,
let's kill you, gouge
double the
you,
price.
and then Scrooge out on our, like, big offshore, like, oil drilling facilities so that they spill oil all in the ocean. Like, that's a lot worse.
like actually bad stuff for the world. That's like bad. So yeah.
pretty brutal.
So guys, big picture here. EA's not that bad. People are gonna think that we're like EA sponsored at some point.
No, I don't think either of us are really exactly fans at this point. I was kind of excited for SimCity. I played SimCity a lot when I was a kid, and I think the most recent one was a massive letdown, more in just their servers, but in the gameplay elements as an entirety, as a whole, altogether. There you go, we're not sponsored by EA. I would love to be.
Yeah, if anyone from EA is watching,
Battlefield 4, let's get it done.
we haven't talked about cispa yet either.
Right.
So
if
that's
you
like-
sponsor us, EA, we can help you fix these bad launches that
Yeah,
you've got.
you could just we'll work as consultants for you
100%.
to tell you all the things you're doing wrong that
We
are
can fix
actually
this.
obvious.
This is a fixable... It's a very fixable situation.
So cispa, yay! So
Brutal.
SOPA's sort of back,
Pass behind closed
and
doors.
actually like actually back, like done back.
Pass behind closed doors. Google is, like, fighting aggressively to stop it, which is good, because while Google is realistically
That's what
doing
they're
it,
basically doing, but I'm not going to do that on our live stream because I'm much
Did
more
you
polite
actually-
than that. No, I almost lifted one finger,
it's the, like, slow...
but it was this one.
It will happen.
Yeah, it might have happened.
What was the trumpet one from Almighty something?
You're not talking
we're
about
more-
Bruce Almighty, are
Yeah,
you?
yeah.
I saw the preview. I saw the preview for that movie, and it was all I needed to know. I did not see that movie. It looked ridiculous.
But what's his name is God?
Jim Carrey.
No,
What? Who?
he's not God.
Oh no, he's Bruce.
God.
It doesn't.
I think Bruce. I think God gives him powers for like a few days or something.
It doesn't matter. It looked so stupid. The premise was stupid,
I don't even remember if I liked it.
and I even like Jim Carrey. Like that,
awesome.
he's like one of my dirty little secrets. You know, like guilty pleasure. I like Jim Carrey. He's awesome.
That's a weird way to describe
But that movie was not going to be watchable for me. I know this. I was like, yeah, that's going to be a cable guy moment for me, and I'm not going to be able to sit through it. So, no, I couldn't do it. Wasn't there like a
Morgan
second
Freeman.
one? Oh, Morgan Freeman's amazing. I love Morgan
Morgan
Freeman.
Freeman was God. That's like
doesn't-
enough of a reason to go watch it.
It doesn't matter.
Morgan Freeman is God.
You could cast Tom Hanks as like, I don't know, Hercules. Or, well, actually, you probably shouldn't. But
What?
I still wouldn't see it, even though I love Tom Hanks.
If Tom Hanks was casted as Hercules, you would probably watch that.
I probably would. Just for the sheer spectacle
Because
of
it's
it.
like, wait, why is Tom Hanks casted as Hercules?
Can you imagine, what would Tom Hanks look like if he like worked out hardcore?
Well, that could be like old Hercules.
Yeah, old Hercules, who's like all like decrepit now.
And he's like funny and cheers people up.
You know,
For whatever reason.
It's kind of crazy, like going back and watching movies that these actors made when they were super young. Like looking at someone like watching old Bond movies with Sean Connery, and then watching something like The Rock, and you're just like, wow. Like I've actually because of movies and because you could capture someone's likeness so well, sort of that long ago, and it's been so long, you can actually watch someone's entire kind of life. And it's kind of bizarre. Like you see Tom Hanks in Big, and then you see him today and you're like, oh.
Yeah,
he was like a super young guy at one point. Holy crap.
it's just weird to realize that actually those people are actually people.
And like Matthew Broderick, when he did that Ferris Bueller's Day Out commercial for the Super Bowl, and I was just like, now he's just kind of like a weird looking middle-aged dude. Like no wonder his acting career sort of disappeared.
The hype around
Sorry, Matthew, if you're watching.
The hype around that coming back was insane. Everyone thought it was going to be...
I didn't enjoy the movie.
Did
not enjoy Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
I don't even know if I've seen it.
It's just stupid.
Which is brutal. I haven't seen a lot of movies, but whatever. But like did you see the hype around Ferris Bueller's Days Off 2 or whatever?
No.
That everyone thought was going to come after that commercial and stuff? It was insane. They should have just done it. After they saw that hype, they should have just been like, okay, we'll make tons of money.
On like the worst movie ever. Because a sequel about a movie where the entire premise is just like someone pretends to be sick and they're not.
Well, they would have just done he pretends to be sick at his job. And it's the same thing. Like, honestly, they would have just done that. And like, you know what? They could have made it funny enough that people didn't hate it. And they could have made tons of money. Like, they should have just done it.
Anyway,
it doesn't matter. Everyone's sequels.
We're supposed to be talking about cispa, and we're talking about bad movies that we hated. So pretty much what this will do is it'll allow the U.S. government to, without your knowledge, force your internet service provider or someone who's providing you any kind of a service over the internet to provide your information. It's basically like a warrant for being able to see your information that you don't even get to know about and no one can do anything about.
Yeah.
And it's passed. It's like actually done. So Google's giving the US government the old screw off, and Microsoft's apparently going along with it, which is...
But they did with Skype too. They just kind of go, okay. Well, they're just going along with the law. Microsoft doesn't really fight anyone. If you look into it, like they're just kind of like, we'll just stay out of this pretty much every time.
You know, it's funny because Microsoft, I mean, what made Windows great was the flexibility. And let's face it, flexibility is just another word for piracy. Like, Windows was the platform that just kind of supported every app for getting stuff, doing things.
Well, and gaming.
And as soon as like there's no reason why Microsoft couldn't have just sort of gone along with continuing down that path and been because they had to get support because they were so dominant in terms of market share, so no one could ignore them. And then once they got that big, all of a sudden they started playing by the rules and sort of cooperating with guys who want to protect the content. And they got into the content distribution business themselves, which is probably a big part of it. But I have to wonder if they would be faltering the way that they are now if they were still supporting the same kind of free exchange of ideas that they used to. and still allow. I mean, even things like the Media Center PC would have taken off if it was piracy easy. Absolutely. I mean, so many huge things have only really become mainstream because I mean, why did people like Android phones? Early ones weren't good. But they liked that they could do whatever they wanted with the hardware, which, let's face it, the thing people want to do with the hardware is...
Yes and no. Customizability does not actually mean piracy.
No, but a lot of the time, for people, it can. Someone who's not like a developer, who's actually able to
But a lot of these
code things
developers
on their
are
phone.
alive because X amount of people are buying it.
That's true.
Like, people still are going to buy it. It's not like every single person you pass on the street is just like zero morals about actually owning licenses. Like,
No, that's
a
true.
lot of piracy just does happen. But like on Android, people developed those apps because they were gonna make money. There was gonna be tons of piracy, but there was enough there that they were gonna make money. Like, it happens. And to avoid piracy and stuff, just put ads in it. That happened a lot too. Sure,
Yep.
you know what? We won't charge you for the game. You're gonna pirate it anyways, just take it. There's gonna be an ad there.
Right.
Like, I don't know.
That
It's
kind of
not
bones your paying customers, though. Or you mean like cell phone games? Oh, okay. I thought you meant like product placements in AAA
Oh
titles.
no.
Okay.
I don't actually really. This is a completely different topic, but maybe I should just save it for later. Nope, we're sticking on cispa. Okay.
I guess that was pretty much my whole thing, guys. It's bad.
Yeah.
I mean, it's one of those things. It's like the way that the U.S. is moving backwards in terms of legislation is sort of alarming. Like things
They're
like
doing the same thing. Someone brought this up. I read this somewhere. They're doing the exact same. They're going in the exact same footsteps Rome did right before they crashed.
that's
Which is
interesting.
really interesting.
I mean, things like cell phone unlocking being illegal. Like,
Why did that even happen?
how is that even possible? Why does anyone even care? I mean, the crazy thing is the amount of money being spent on things that don't matter. It's like the amount of money that got spent preventing people from using their phone on a different network. Like between lobbying and between people that the public is paying to sit around and debate it and lawyers who are consulting those people and all that stuff.
And it
It's
goes
just
all the way down.
sort
to
of
the chain.
baffling. Did you hear about oh crap, what's her name? I can't remember. All famous singers are sort of the same to me, but someone refused $1 million to sing at one of the Republican conventions during the last election. And I'm just like, if you have $1 million to spend on having a singer perform at your rally,
Maybe you should worry about the debt your country's in, which is kind of insane.
maybe, yeah, you know what? The US needs a third party that goes, we want the exact same campaign budget as the other two, and we're gonna dump the entire thing into actually something useful. So elect us because of that. And other than that, we're just gonna shut up and not say anything because
Yep.
we can't afford it.
People bring this up all the time. They should have the candidates, just like NASCAR drivers, wear all the logos for all the companies that sponsor them.
That would be great.
It's actually really smart, and that isn't like a liberal democratic. Like, that's just no. That's interesting. I actually just am interested because I'm not going to say, oh no, you can't sponsor them, because that's just kind of weird, and under the table stuff will happen anyways. You're not actually stopping anything.
Yeah,
but I'm just
well.
interested into what, like, who is sponsoring this guy? Is it NASCAR? That'd be cool. Like, I don't know. It's just interesting.
If anyone's wondering who our sponsors are, it's Intel, AMD, NVIDIA, SteelSeries, Cooler Master. Crap, I'm sure I'm forgetting someone.
And we already said NVIDIA. I'm trying to think of all the pre-rolls that I've put on things.
Fractal Design.
Corsair.
Corsair. There you go.
There's probably.
I'm sure I'm missing someone.
We're sorry.
We're sorry. You're probably not watching anyway. But Matthew Broderick probably is.
Matthew Broderick sponsors us
Yeah, Matthew Broderick, yeah, that's
with all of his money.
all of his money. Yeah. Which is, it explains why we're streaming out of our garage.
Ooh.
Whoa!
Oh yeah, the topic that I almost went on. I don't even mind product placement and things as long as it's at least moderately enough subtle. Like, unless it's like Pepsi.
Okay,
It's not
okay,
really
okay.
a big deal.
Someone says, not trying to defend BP Oil, but technically they're not an American company. Of course they're not. Sorry, British.
Right.
And the vote was for the past year, and the oil spill happened in 2010. It doesn't make companies sort of like less horrible. in general. But okay, yes, you're right. BP, but
You're right on
any
that
oil
point, but
company.
the general point,
Fine, let's talk ExxonMobil then. It doesn't matter. Pick anyone.
there's someone.
And they're all much more destructive than EA could ever be.
And they all do the same practices that BP did, and just because it happened to BP doesn't mean that it's not going to happen to someone else. BP was just the unlucky group when they all cheap out on the exact same way as BP does.
Yeah. Caleb says, I don't know if this is correct. In fact, I suspect it's not. But 50% of American tax dollars go to collection of the next year's taxes. It's like,
What it is like 57% goes to military or something.
I do believe that a significant amount of it probably does get blown on that. But there you go.
Collecting more tax dollars, we should do build guys.
Yeah, builds of the week. So here, I think I have them. Oh, here it is.
Continuing with the theme, we have 2 build guides this week. We went
build logs.
Build logs. Sorry,
Build logs of the week. So from the Linus, you should probably explain what we're doing. From the Linus Tech Tips forum, we feature 2 builds every week, and
that's exactly what I was doing.
Okay, fine, you do it because I have to log in.
We feature 2 build logs of the week. We do one that is like awesome, but at least in range of the average person, and then we do one that's like you kind of have to be nuts to be able to go there. To be he spelt his login name wrong. Sorry, 1 second. You have to be kind of nuts to be able to do it. So we have one that's like really, really awesome and would take like time and planning and awesomeness. And then we have one that's time and planning and awesomeness and money and insanity. So yeah, once Linus can log in, which hopefully you don't get locked out here, we will actually show you pictures of
Project Snowflake.
There we go. Project Snowflake. Hopefully the pictures load fast enough. Scroll down. Pictures are there.
Alright. Oh, they're big.
Yeah, they're all pretty big.
This is an important step of any water cooling build. The reason he has paper towels, he actually probably doesn't have enough in there. Paper towels are because you want to do a leak testing run in case there are any drips before you trust your water cooling. It's a good idea. Nice white fittings.
Oh, just wait till you get a bigger shot. It's amazing. He's just doing some close-ups of some good-looking stuff here. He continues with the white and blue theme. This is his tube running from his... Yeah, I don't know if you saw it, but like, oh.
Very nice.
Just looks really good.
Very slick.
Totally went for gold with the, like, not gold color, but he just went for awesomeness with his color scheme, stuck with it, got really, really good parts that all worked together. It just, man, it looks good.
Yeah, that looks outstanding. Very beautiful machine.
And like...
Interesting pump choice.
Yeah. All the cable runs that you can see are nice and short.
Right.
And then he's got the long one, but it's kind of hidden in the top, so you don't really see it.
You mean the tubing runs?
Yeah. What did I say?
Cable runs.
Ugh. Saying all the wrong stuff tonight.
I'm tired. It's been a long week, eh?
And dyslexia.
The entire house has been sick, which has just kind of sucked for me. And then Slick doesn't sleep because of working on migrating the Linus Tech Tips forum at some point. So great build, Project Snowflake.
So that one's just kind of awesome. And then this one is just absolutely ridiculous and will probably make you envy because it's a TJ07.
Yeah, my TJ07 build's still not done, and it's not this good either.
Project Lazy. I've been waiting for more complete... He says he's still going to be doing stuff to it, and I believe him because he's nuts. But, like, this is amazing.
That's beautiful. Look
It's
at the
so
look at the
awesome.
suspended fans up here. That's like MK2
Yeah.
murder box style.
Yeah.
Very, very nice.
So nice. Little custom panels. Like, painted everything. He's got...
Wow.
Yeah.
I love round
really
blocks.
good.
They're so unnecessary.
But they look really nice.
I know, but they're so unnecessary.
100%.
But I just love them.
You can't even, like, debate that. That makes no
Those are
sense.
gorgeous fittings.
Yeah.
I don't think I've seen E-case compressions in person. Yeah, those are really nice.
They're not that common.
Yeah, those are nice.
There's a big, more wide-out shot somewhere.
I think we missed it.
There we go.
Oh, that's the one. Yeah, so there you go, guy.
Oh,
Sorry, this mouse really is super hard to control.
yeah. I don't blame him at all. It's really difficult.
So there you
that's
go.
Just kind of awesome.
That doesn't look lazy at all, to be perfectly honest.
No. I think he's calling it lazy build because it's been taking him quite a while. But I
Right.
think from beginning to end, it probably took about at least the quarter of the amount of time it took for yours.
Yeah, I know. Come on, my rig looks pretty nice too.
I'm just bugging you. I know.
My rig looks pretty... Okay, it's not as good as this. But it's not bad.
Kind of awesome.
My rig? I know, thank you.
I was talking about Project Lazy, but
yeah,
your rig is awesome too. That's okay.
Thank you.
If you want to check out these guys' builds, I will tweet them both out, but they are both going to be in Windspeed's sticky at the top of the build log section on the forum. So you can check those out later, or you can check them out now. Whatever you want to do. Those are our build logs of the week. Thank you for making those build logs. Do we have any other topics? I guess we're like after party mode now.
Yeah. I kind of have to pee. So I'm going to do that.
All right. Are you coming back?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
It'll take a while if I drop my phone in the toilet or something.
Okay. That would be really unfortunate. You should probably not do that. That's a 1.
Okay, why don't I leave my phone with you?
Okay.
Here, thanks.
Okay, cool.
Thanks, bro.
That shouldn't actually be a thing that you're worried about.
We should talk about the Anentech one. Oh, you didn't read it, did you?
Not really, no. Anyways, so if I have anything to talk about that isn't anything to do with anything that we've talked about so far, it's an awesome member of our forum, watcher of the live stream, follower of me on Twitter, etc., offered to send me a Model M and did so, and I'm ridiculously stoked for that to show up. It was supposed to show up, and then they held it and said that the address was wrong. And then I called them and was like, hey, what's up? The address is definitely right. We get stuff shipped here all the time. What's going on? And they're like, oh, your name's Slick. And I was like, yeah. They're like, okay, we don't have a phone number for you. Okay, give them my phone number, whatever. That conversation's done. Hang up. It's supposed to show up on Thursday. Doesn't show up. Okay, that's random. It's supposed to show up on Friday. Today. Doesn't show up. What? I get a call, check my voicemail because I was in the middle of a shot, and they are holding it for a reason where the guy goes, yeah, we're holding it at customs because literally like growling, no words were made out at all, like fairly monotone growling, and then right when he's done explaining it goes, you can contact us at phone number. Like perfectly done English before and after the description of what's wrong, which is just growling. So I have no idea what's going on, but thanks UPS. Oh, I'm so excited for this keyboard. Like, for instance, I was sitting right here benchmarking. I'm trying to do the updated H220 thing because we finally have everything figured out for that. So that should be coming out early next week, by the way. I'm trying to do that, and I hear a doorbell, and I jump up out of my seat and run. Diesel comes in behind me, B-Roll and Linus come from other parts of the house, and everyone funnels into the door because Linus is trying to beat me because he's trying to troll me. And what is this? You have something secret. Anyways, so everyone's trying to beat me to the door, and
I have something behind my back, but the only way you'll know what it is to smell my finger.
What? No. What? No. That's disgusting. That's actually disgusting. You're not gonna win this. You know how to get out of these, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's just, well, I'm trying to hold something behind my back that has to stay level.
But you can just turn your wrist.
Yeah, you can turn your, I need a little bit of...
No, you go the other way. And then go thin, and then go through.
The problem is that you're strong enough that I would need some body momentum in order to make it happen, and I'm trying to keep this level.
Ah, stop!
Besides, I can just trick you.
Get out of here.
I bought
pickles. Okay.
Yeah. Why, what did you think it was?
I don't know. I don't want to smell your fingers.
So our 900D arrived today.
Oh, yeah, that's nice. One sec, I just want to finish my story real quick. So we all rushed to the door, opened the door, super excited, and it's FedEx, not UPS. So we got a different shipment.
That was awesome.
I was pretty much the saddest person on the planet.
I was hoping it was UPS too, so that I could take the keyboard and hide it somewhere and tell him it was someone else. That would have been. I would have actually paid the import duties, just to see the look on his face. Or it would be greatest if I like rejected it or something. Oh my goodness.
Oh my god.
If I
would have been so upset.
If I beat you to the door when they come and I reject it, what would you do?
Probably just, I would just explode. Because like, I'm so excited for this keyboard. I wanted a Model M for so long. Oh, I'm so stoked for this keyboard. Man, I ran quick. You were a lot closer than I was, and I beat you.
But it took me a while to think of trolling you. So I didn't move for the door immediately. It wasn't something I was planning to do.
Okay. I was so upset. Anyways, we have a 900D. It just showed up. I thought the box was, like, the actual box that 900D comes in, I thought was the outside container because it's so beefy.
With the box inside.
Yeah, yeah. It's so big and it's so beefy and it has, like, the support things on the corners which aren't actually part of the box.
Those are extra, I think.
But yeah, I know. But, like, it's still, I don't
Like,
know.
it looked like an outer crate almost.
Yeah. Like,
Oops. Sorry about that.
so that's kind of ridiculous. And yeah, we have a 900D. We can't do anything with it yet. When is
B-roll's here. He has to pick up that hiking backpack that we used for the Patriot video.
Oh.
Oh yeah, Patriot's another sponsor we have.
Should I talk? Can I talk about the video?
Sure.
Okay, so we're filming. How in depth can I go?
Well, we're gonna be releasing it soon, so I don't care.
Okay. Okay. So we're filming a video for Patriot. It's another one of the tech cookie videos, so it's higher production quality, has like storyline, if you can call it that. And the idea is that Linus and I are nerding out and chilling on a couch. He's playing Super Nintendo, I'm reading on a tablet. And then we find this thing called the Adventurers Wiki and decide to go on an adventure. So we go out into the forest and film us kind of going around doing whatever. And then the idea is once we're done traveling to our destination, we sit down, pull out some food, do whatever, and then talk about what we're going to do next. And kind of go into a daydream sequence about doing manly things, because that's what the Adventure Wiki is a part of. And just go around, like, we threw an axe at stuff, we jumped over stuff, we climbed stuff, like we do manly things, but it's just a dream sequence. And then we snap out of it and decide we're just going to watch movies, and then that's where the Patriot thing comes into play and allows us to actually see our content. So, yeah, that'll come out.
Apparently, we're introducing the newest member of the Tech Tips
Oh,
group.
cool.
Hello.
So this is our newest member of Linus Media Group. So he is the assistant to Diesel the intern.
Oh, it's like a weird.
It's delay. You probably don't want to
Yeah,
look at it. Kind of
Yeah, no, this is him watching them watch us. Basically, it's
Nice.
like sort of creeptastic. So say hi to the viewers.
Hi. I hope you guys like everything that you're watching so far.
Wow. Just wow, man.
Oh.
He was a big part of the video that I was just talking about, the Patriot video.
Yeah.
Hopefully that turns out well.
Yeah,
No, it did turn out well.
Yeah,
We've
oh,
already.
yeah, it did
Have
turn
you
out.
seen the finished one yet?
No, I haven't.
it's really good.
Oh. Have you even seen the cut together one?
I saw like the first half of it.
No, you haven't seen it yet.
No.
Oh, it's awesome.
I'll see
Okay.
what everyone else does.
Yeah. Okay.
Nice.
All right.
Gotta go.
Yeah, that's the thing about the guys
Yes.
who operate the camera. Good night. Is a lot of the time they actually don't get to see the fruit of their labors until, like, yeah,
It's got to go through
done.
editing.
Yeah,
And Diesel's still our main editor.
primo
in chief.
editing guy. Does he even have a job title?
Does he?
I don't
Do
know. Do you? Do
Do
I?
you?
Well, I call myself president and CEO.
That's fine and dandy. Does he?
I think he's assistant to Diesel the intern.
So Diesel is intern. That's his job title.
Yeah, that's not really a job title.
And it's not what he
Because
actually
he doesn't
is.
actually fetch coffee.
And he's not actually an intern.
Yeah, he's not actually an intern. Fascinating.
Do you have to be a officially public company to be a CEO?
No, you don't have to be public. But I think,
Is it just corporation?
yeah, you should be incorporated, I think.
So it's just incorporated makes it so you're CEO.
Well, I guess you could make yourself the CEO of your own privately held company, like individual business if you wanted to. You could make yourself whatever title you want. But I
But
don't
is there-
remember
is
what the
there-
rules are.
Like, you know how there's directors and that's like an official thing,
Mm-hmm.
not just like a placed title. Is CEO an official thing, or is that a placed title?
I think so. I don't remember anymore.
Doesn't really matter.
I looked all this stuff up back
when you were starting it.
back when I was starting
it mattered.
and that was like 5 months ago. And by now, my brain's just gone bleh and flushed it away.
Don't care.
Why aren't you having any pickles? They're delicious.
Because I don't want to be rude and eat on the live stream.
But they're so good.
But I don't want to be rude and eat on the live stream.
I don't think they care.
I
Actually, I'm pretty sure some of them do. But you know what? I worked all day today. I worked all week this week in spite of being sick. And
You know what? They probably worked all week this week too.
I earned this pickle.
They probably worked all week this week too, and I bet you some of them were sick while they were doing it. Probably more sick than you. There's at least one dude out there that's more sick and worked all week. And is watching this live stream, and his throat hurts, and he can't eat anything, but he's hungry, and he's pretty upset that you're eating a pickle.
Pretty upset that I'm eating a pickle. How many of our viewers think it's weird to just sit and eat pickles? Do you know that that's actually a thing people think is weird? Like, people think that pickles are just for, like, putting on other stuff.
No, I love pickles. They have to be the right ones.
Yeah, like, most pickles are gross.
Yeah, yeah. There's, like, specific pickles that are really, really good to just chomp on.
Mm-hmm.
But most of them suck.
Wow.
I didn't even think that was that close.
Wow, just wow.
I said chomp.
Yeah, I don't know. Whatever, man.
That wasn't even that close.
Okay.
You can't spin that
All
properly.
right. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So, anyways, let's see if anyone on Twitter is upset. It's David Isaacson's birthday today, and he's watching our live stream.
Happy birthday, David Isaacson.
Happy birthday, indeed.
That's a case.
I don't really have anything else to talk about at this point.
We're doing issue 20 next week.
Oh yeah, that's
We're
something that's
doing-
nice to kind of get done.
So 790,
Mm-hmm. Hopefully.
hopefully. We should be able. Yeah, I should have time.
Oh no, we will because we actually have a card now.
Yeah, we should kind of have a card.
Yeah, we have an MSI card.
Temporarily, maybe have a card.
Yeah, we temporarily have an MSI card. We were supposed to get a card from ASUS, but it hasn't materialized yet. So we'll be pretty happy to bring you sort of that once we have it. Someone brings up that it was actually the BP thing was caused by Halliburton's concrete. So okay, fine, then Halliburton's a bad company. It doesn't matter. Anyone who knew ahead of time that was bad is worse than EA. I don't really eat pickles that often, but I do the same with hot dog sausages. I think lots of people just eat hot dogs. In fact, it's like pretty common, like especially for
pickles you can just whip out of the fridge.
yeah,
You
like
mean
hot
cold?
dogs and ketchup. Oh, cold hot dogs? Oh, I do cold hot dogs.
Really?
Sure. Oh yeah, they're pre-cooked. It's not dangerous.
I just don't think it would be very like it tastes better when it's warm.
Well, I mean, it's not any more dangerous than any other hot dog. I'm convinced that hot dogs do kill you.
They're terrible.
Yeah. Simple Bob says, force Slick to eat the pickle. That is the worst advice I've ever heard. I mean, that's got to be illegal. Live stream where we talk about donating testicles to be Gabe Newell's apprentice and eating pickles. Joao Vicente Wayand. Wow. John M.
Your cool
Wyland.
name.
Or Wyand. Okay. John. RAM capacity versus speed for gaming and working, please. And the... I don't follow cars. Sorry, I couldn't possibly care. It's some other car that absolutely no one can afford, and
It
whatever.
probably looks really nice. It probably goes really fast, and I'll probably never afford it.
Yeah.
That's for RAM. Get 8 gigs of something that runs.
Yeah. Unless you're doing sort of pro work like video editing or After Effects
Or APU stuff.
3D rendering or yeah, honestly on an AMD APU, then 1600 megahertz, 1866 megahertz is probably beneficial. But to give you some idea. In Diesel's workstation, 1333, he has lots of RAM, 32 gigs, but there isn't actually a benefit to higher speed memory for most things on the desktop anyway, because the only thing that higher frequency does is gives you more bandwidth, and especially on these multi-channel platforms, like triple, quad-channel platforms, there's lots of bandwidth for a single CPU anyway. So it's not a big deal. What happened to RAM prices, someone asks. Every once in a while, RAM prices go up. I think they're allocating more of the fab time to other stuff. It usually happens leading up into every summer as the manufacturers move over to more flash because people are going to buy SD cards so that they can take pictures and that kind of stuff.
Companies decide that they want to make more than 5 cents per DIMM.
Yeah. Mind you, usually it isn't even that. Apparently we're cool and he loves pickles, says AIIA on YouTube. Where do you get AMD branded coolers on AMD graphics
doesn't
cards
show.
like in the pictures on AMD's website? Oh, sorry, I'm not even showing you guys
I
these
was like,
tweets.
what are you reading?
You can't really, for the most part. Unless you're like a reviewer publication or someone like us, then AMD can send it to you directly. Is there such thing as a cheap gaming PC? Yes. Chomp, chomp, chomp. All right. See, no one cares about the pickle. Now that it's summerish, you should ride your bike. Actually, I'm selling my bike, even if I don't end up getting the 4K monitor. The bike is probably done for at this point, so it's on Craigslist as we speak.
That's one way to push your ad.
Hunter says, yeah, I know, right? If anyone wants to buy a Suzuki SV650S, 24,000 kilometers, great condition, silver, 2003.
No crashes?
Nah, several.
No.
Insignificant ones, small ones. Small. Yeah, I'm tired, I'm done.
Wow. Wow. That was fantastic. What is this link? Apparently we missed part of Project Snowflake. Someone freaked out at me. Apparently it's all my fault and I'm a terrible person. But we should go to page 4.
Okay. What is this? Oh yeah, someone's running an eGPU using Thunderbolt and a MacBook Pro. Yes, it's possible. It's just mostly kludgy solutions right now. It's very DIY compared to something like an external box that's actually designed for running external graphics cards over Thunderbolt.
Let's go back to Project Snowflake. Let's see this page 4 business.
Page 4, Project Snowflake. Here we go. All right, let's go ahead and make that big and switch to that. And page 4.
It's
right, our broken forum that doesn't work properly. Way to go, Slick.
No, I'm not taking credit for that. So probably page 2 because you probably have more posts per
you
page.
take over.
Oh god, this is gonna be interesting. Are you logged in? Yeah. Okay. So that's back panel. Hard drives.
Just use page down.
This works.
Fine.
And it doesn't do that crazy skipping thing that you did. That's a pretty artistic picture. Nice white fangirls. How many times have you seen that?
Not often.
I wonder if he painted them. They look really good. Oh, those are... What? I thought he had different fans. I was pretty sure when I saw them before they were BitPhoenix fans.
Mm-hmm.
Remember?
So those have been changed to Corsair SPs?
Apparently they've been changed to recipes. They look good. Or maybe it's a different part of the build that has the...
Wow, white fluid. Very nice.
Okay, a bunch of things changed.
Gorgeous.
Whoa. What's going on there? Oh, I see.
Balling res with like marble white fluid.
I wonder how long that...
White tubing.
I wonder how long that effect will last. Sometimes it likes to go away.
Mm-hmm.
Whoa, that looks so cool.
That does look really good. He's also changed his pump now.
He's changed quite a few things.
30 drops of ocean blue, apparently. Very cool.
Very similar picture, or the same.
White paint.
80-ish drops. Okay, so he increased. That's why it looks a little bit more intense.
Right. White painted M-Power heat sinks now.
Oh, yeah. Cool. Is that? Yeah. Diff shot with full color. Okay, cool.
All right, there we get to see it without all of the paper towel all over it. Beautiful.
That's awesome.
Looks great in the SLI bridge as well.
Looks so good. That's really, really cool effect. He ditched the water cooling on RAM,
Oh, okay.
which I actually might have liked to see. Just because, not because of anything to do with performance, just because it's like, looks awesome. But he might have done that for cable runs or something. Why do I keep on saying cable runs? Tubing runs. That looks pretty cool.
Oh, that's outstanding. Finished.
The computer was off. That's why it's not swirling so much.
Right.
Some of those runs are nice. I can see that cable going right through there.
I think part of what makes the swirling effect work for him is the fact that he has such a tall res.
Yeah, it's just huge.
So that'll keep it from agitating so much that the effect just goes away, especially up near the top. That's very cool.
Yeah.
There you go. See that? Because you can see at the bottom it doesn't look good at all. But then up near the top of the res, it gets that really cool looking
Yeah,
effect.
for sure. Wow, that's really cool.
Are the
He
wires
did
by
like
the
a-
power supply going through individual holes? That's ridiculous.
Did he make those?
Must have.
Did he change his case? He was just Switch 810 at the beginning, I think.
Huh. Very cool build.
He changed a lot of things.
I think that's still a Switch 810.
Yeah, okay. He just must have modded out this part where the rad is. Because he had the angular fan there before.
Mhm.
Power supply looks great now. I don't think he had like the white plate and stuff on it before. Because that's his 1200i still.
Wow. Shouldn't drink that.
Oh, he's changing his liquid. I know he said before that the swirl effect was kind of going away after time, but it still looked really good. Because remember when you were like, you can't really tell at the bottom quite as much? That's where he said the swirl effect was going away. But it still looked really good.
Right.
But anyways, he's looking at different fluid. With a white build like this, where the only color realistically is coming from the fluid, changing out your fluid, like, whatevs. That's cool, I guess. Both of those look great.
I like the blueberry.
So do I, yeah. But they both look great. Oh, that's cool.
New liquid.
Apparently he went with blueberry.
All right.
Perfect.
I don't think that looks as good even without
No,
the...
I liked the swirls.
Yeah, me too.
It still looks really good. Huh, cool. I'm happy we went back to that. I don't know how to change back to your thing, so there you go.
Function 1. Boop. There we go. See, even when I say, like, I'm done and I'm, like, leaving, everyone just stays and keeps watching. Thank you, guys. We appreciate it.
We do.
Do we have any interesting, like, Linus Media Group stuff to talk about other than introducing our new employee?
We have another one.
Yeah, we have an intern starting on Monday. We haven't come up with a nickname for him yet, but I'm
No.
thinking NG.
That's not bad.
I came up with it just now.
It might be NG.
Yeah,
It might be...
I think it's probably going to be NG. There, it's NG. So NG is starting on Monday.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. NG starting on Monday. That's cool.
That's gonna
Linus
be
Media
cool.
Group.
I have to build him a workstation.
Oh,
We're such a sausage fest. We're going to be 5 dudes.
We're doing computer hardware videos.
Right.
What do you want?
Do I have to be the one who represents our female viewers and comes and calls you out
for the first time ever? If we get an applicant...
No, you know what? Every time I talk about how no females watch our show, one of them like tweets at me
If
or
we
messages
ever
me.
get a female
I have a
applicant.
call. I have no idea who this is, so I'm just going to answer it. You're live on Linus Tech Tips. Hello?
Is it just dead?
They may be stunned. Maybe they'll call back.
Okay. If we ever get a female applicant for any position we've ever posted, then there you go. I don't know what else to say. It's never happened. So, female viewers aside, which I do try and defend sometimes, we have never had a female applicant. So they don't actually exist.
Yeah, we haven't,
No.
actually.
So that demographic actually doesn't exist. Who is this?
I don't know. You're on Linus Tech Tips Live. Hello? Hello, Linus. Bye.
I have a weird feeling it's Mr. Wizard.
What's his number?
Let me figure this out. He's not responding, but I actually think it's Mr. Wizard. For any amount of backlog, Mr. Wizard is my admin helper, sir, that goes on the forum, and is the only reason that our kludgy solution of a forum is even currently running. Calling again.
No, this is someone new.
See, he could be calling from his...
Caller, you're live on Linus Tech Tips. Oh, that didn't work. Unless that's another one. Oh boy. This is out of control now.
Oh my goodness, what the heck?
Okay, so anyway, this is the one.
Oh no.
Lol.
Oh no, that's what it actually is.
Yeah, that's what happened.
You're never gonna stop getting phone calls.
Yeah, well, that's the end of that.
Oh god.
And that was when he changed his number.
Yeah, you probably have to now.
Yeah. All right, well, I'll have a new number sometime next week, I guess, but that was fun while it lasted.
Come on, like, oh, why? Why would you actually call? Not to, like, directly attack people that are possibly watching right now, but why would you actually call? Like, man, and if you're gonna call, at least have your phone work.
Yeah, they wanted to be on Linus Tech Tips. I can't really blame them.
But, okay, at least have your phone work, for one, and for two, say something. Like, you're the one person that got through.
It's like calling. It's like,
Hi. Like, say something. If you're gonna troll, at least be successful.
yeah.
At least actually troll us in some way. Instead of just spamming a phone.
At least actually buy my bike.
If you're gonna go to the ad, buy it at least.
Yeah.
Man, I really thought that was Mr. Wizard, because he always says that. He's like, oh, I'm gonna get drunk and call in and troll you guys. And I'm like, no, you're not. You probably will, actually, at some point.
I'm so annoyed that the stream died in the middle tonight, because it means I'm going to have to use Windows Live Movie Maker to fix it again.
Which is just so pathetic. And you know what this means? This means now, on top of all the other, like, ritualistic things that we do before the stream to make sure things work, like switching on and off the, what is it even called?
Attenuation on the mic.
Attenuation on the mic so it actually sounds proper, and, like, all that crap to just turn things off and on again to make sure they work. Now we have to, like, reset the router every single time we do a stream.
You know what? It's been flaking out a little bit over the last little while, so I guess it was just due.
But still, like...
We just need to switch to a DDWRT router and be done with it. We gave the last one we had, speaking of Mr. Wizard, to him, so... Yeah, that was like a compatible... It was a Buffalo one. It had, like, uber powerful antennas and was DDWRT. Although, we have one of the new Linksys EA6500s coming.
Oh, cool.
So that's their AC router. I'm really excited to try it out with the HTC One because it does support wireless AC.
Right.
Which is awesome.
And so does HTC One, although I'm kind of skeptical about wireless AC on phones.
Apparently, Anantech saw up to 285 megabit real world throughput.
Have they done S4 yet?
I don't know. But S4 is AC as well, using the same chipset, so it'll probably be similar.
Yeah.
But that's outstanding. That's huge. Speaking of the HTC One in the Anantech review, go to Anantech because their review is outstanding and the phone is outstanding and it's absolutely awesome. So yes, go there, read the review. It's an awesome phone. And it pretty much negates any reason you might have for buying an S4 unless you really need that micro SD slot and you really plan to replace your battery at some point. Speaking of which, how's your S3 battery holding out?
It came back. Did I talk to you about this?
Did it come back to life?
Like, now it lasts again for like 2 days, if with very mild use. I don't use my phone that much. For like 2 days, that's with like on my phone for about half an hour every night, right as I go to bed. And like texting throughout the day a little bit, but not a ton. Very mild anything else. I probably didn't listen to music on it.
Awesome.
Like, where this is coming from is for a while there, my phone was lasting for like 2 hours. I permanently had to walk around with battery packs. I was going through multiple battery packs like a day, which was nuts. My brother had similar battery problems, not to quite the same degree, but very similar battery problems. He also has an S3, and at right around the same time, they both just healed themselves. So
it's funny because Samsung released an update, but wasn't it an update for like their weird S whatever software?
Some random piece of software, and they haven't released a new update for it. So I don't even know if that's it. I have no idea what happened, but my phone became almost impossible to use for about a week or two. And like my battery app that I have monitoring, and I still have it monitoring, and that battery app has not been updated, so it's not that. Would report, it would be like, yeah, you have, what was that screenshot I had?
Yeah, it was like 25% battery, 5 minutes left.
5 minutes left. It's like,
Okay.
Oh god, that's not good.
Speaking of the S4, though, we're going to be hands-on with it next Wednesday.
Awesome. That'll be really cool.
So weeks after everyone else, but
we should
sure, whatever.
we should do a test where I have to hold both my hands and try and figure out which one's which.
Oh. I don't know if Samsung wants us to do that test.
I wonder if I could. Did any buttons actually change position? I know the like middle button thing is slightly different.
Like, I actually don't remember.
Ever so slightly different. Google bought WhatsApp, or is buying WhatsApp.
Yeah, they're in negotiation to buy WhatsApp for $1 billion.
All the money.
But for potential integration with their own services, obviously there's a huge number of people that use WhatsApp. I mean, obviously they don't expect to get the money back in terms of actual revenue because WhatsApp only even costs money on iOS. And so even if like 1/6 of the people on Earth bought it for their iPhones, they wouldn't even get back in terms of sheer revenue the amount that they spent on the acquisition. But I mean, whatevs. I'm sure they plan to. I mean, here's the thing: would you want Google reading your SMS messages? Your telco already can, so there's that. It's not like it's like encrypted.
It's not technically SMS though, isn't it?
Come on, though.
Same idea, but like, okay, yeah.
Basically, it is.
I was just clarifying. Because it's over Wi-Fi, whatever. No, but this ties into the stance that Google was taking against cispa, where I'd rather they read it than some other people, because I would rather Google tuned advertisements to me than someone actually stalked me.
Right.
So while no, I do not want Google reading my text messages. No, I do not want them reading my emails. No, I do not want them reading anything else. At this point in time, no matter how evil Google can be, they're almost looking like the lesser of multiple evils. Because like it's just getting kind of brutal. Everyone's reading your email. Microsoft isn't, but then Microsoft filters everything through servers in the States.
Right.
So it's like, oh. You're not, but someone who's telling you to is.
Right.
I don't know. Privacy is becoming such a weird area. As like every country ever just goes after everyone, including their own citizens.
You know what's kind of weird about Twitch? They run ads on your content before you're actually like a partner. Like, I don't think YouTube runs ads on videos where you're not getting a cut of it, do they?
Don't think so.
Speaking of being a Twitch partner, we are launching our Twitch partnership very soon. Actually, I heard from them today. So, yeah. So the ads will support Linus Tech Tips at some point. So there you go. Yeah. But I don't know. I loaded up the Twitch stream and I saw an ad and I was like, oh. Well, that's cool. I mean, that's good. But it says right under it, this ad supports Linus Tech. Level up your Twitch experience.
But it doesn't yet.
So did it say that before? Because it's possible they've turned us on now. Like, I don't know. Like, we're actually, like,
I have no
going.
idea. Twitch chat, do you know? Did it say that before? Did
Yeah.
it say this ad directly sponsors Linus Tech? People are still posting your Craigslist ad. God. Oh my goodness.
I should probably edit that. Honestly, though, if I sell my bike out of this, then that'll be good.
That would be hilarious. Someone's like, yeah, I just bought your bike. By the way, can you sign it? Be like,
Why are you gonna be like that? Like,
Can you put lipstick on and kiss right beside the signature?
oh, come on.
Can you tape a picture of yourself to it?
Why are you gonna be like that?
Oh man. Does anyone know? Everyone's saying AdBlog Plus for the win. Oh.
Thanks for that, by the way. Okay, we should set an actual date to actually do our Super Mario World stream. We've been promising that for months.
Do you want to do it during the week or on a weekend? Because whatever, let's do it. Do you want to do it right now? You want to figure it out right now?
No. Oh, like figure out the actual time?
Yeah.
Um,
I didn't mean play the whole thing now. We have to sleep at some point.
yeah, I was gonna say I don't really know about that, but what do you think? Weekday or weekend? Probably we're not gonna get done on a weekday.
No.
Quite realistically.
We're gonna work till like 8 anyways.
Yeah.
And then I'll continue, and so will you, realistically. So no, we're
What
just.
about
gonna
like a
work till we
Saturday
sleep.
during a day? Is my wife gonna let me get away with that though?
I have no idea.
Do you think the rest of Linus Media Group would just freak if you and I spent an entire workday playing Super Mario World?
Yeah. I don't know how okay that would be. Can little baby man be offloaded to grandparents?
That's actually not a bad idea, but if
maybe-
that was to happen,
Maybe Mrs. Wife can take a day. Go hang out with some friends or do something.
well, my sister-in-law's wedding's coming up.
Oh, so she's so she can do that.
Not this weekend. Well, no, I have to be there, smart guy.
No, she can help prep for that. I meant like
Yeah, but then, oh, and then you're saying I drop the baby with the grandparents, and then we do our super.
so she takes a day, baby goes off, hangs out with the grandparents.
How long do you think it'll take us to beat it?
I don't know. It's been so long. Oh, come on. Come on. Wow.
Wow! Just wow.
It's the after party. Those jokes, they gotta come out. They
Yeah.
gotta come out. Anyways, how long do you think it would take us to complete the game?
Because I can burn through probably everything up to Chocolate Island, like first try, maybe second try. Like I can get through most of that stuff pretty quick. Some of the stuff is kind of tricky. I don't remember if it's the cheese bridge or one of the other ones where it's like I can never remember where that stupid secret is to get down to the Star Road from the bridge.
Are we doing like what point are we getting?
Well, we have to go 96.
Full okay.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So and I mean the special levels are ridiculous.
I don't remember where everything is.
It's half luck. So the special levels are the ones at the center of the Star Road.
No, like I know, but like I mean like within levels and stuff. Like it's been a really long
Oh,
time.
I can remind you though. I did it a year or two ago.
Oh, I haven't done it since I was a kid.
Yeah, no, I've actually done it not that long ago.
It's actually been like it's been a really long time since I've played a Mario game. I love playing old school games, but I've been trying to go back and play old school games that I haven't played yet.
Right.
So stuff like Mario is not coming up. I haven't played Mario since I was a kid.
Right, okay.
So I'm probably gonna suck, which will be kind of entertaining anyways.
You'll probably be okay. You know what I found is actually having gone so many years without playing a Mario game, I actually still had pretty much all my skills. Like it came back like really fast. You know what might actually be more fun? Like original Super Mario Brothers. Because that would be infuriating, especially
It's so difficult.
if
And,
yeah,
like-
it gets really tough towards the end. Although at least Bowser's always like, what would it be? So wait till he jump. So jump, get him to jump over the fireball, go under him, and then kill him every time. It's like
My favorite thing is the
Simple.
picture that is like this is the exact key combination you need to beat the entire game.
which one is it?
There's a picture online that's like hold arrow, press this button, press this button, press this button, hold arrow, press this like, and it goes through the entire thing. It's about like yay long with like tiny little icons, but it's like if you type in this key combination and wait for load screens in between, you will beat the entire game.
Really? I didn't even know
Because
that.
those crazy speedrunners, they like have it down to like a rhythm.
Right.
It's nuts.
Yeah. Well, we won't be doing any kind of speed run. So there you go.
Someone in Twitch chat just says, Linus, what's your opinion on the Nintendo 64?
You know what? I never had one.
Really?
Although Mario Kart 64 is one of my favorite all-time games. It's outstanding.
I'm not very good at it, but I love that
I
game.
actually spent like $5 to get it in the Wii Marketplace.
Nice.
Haven't we played it?
Yeah, we did one day.
One time. We should play.
I'm terrible.
My wife's not bad. And besides, I don't mind winning all the time, so it's fine. I don't care if you suck. If you want, we can play some FPS
I was just gonna
games.
say, let's go play Battlefield again or something, or like
Yeah.
StarCraft.
People are upset I never had an N64. It's okay, because my best friend had an N64, and I'd always go over to his house
That's always
with his babysitter after school. So I played a lot of N64. Played a ton of Perfect Dark. Played a ton of GoldenEye. Played a ton of Mario Kart. Played a ton of that. Oh, what was that terrible? I think it was NHL 2007, where it was like everything was like multicolored, and it was like that down at ice level view, and it was just an absolute piece of crap. Played a lot of that because my friend really liked playing hockey games.
Laptop gun, Perfect Dark, coolest thing ever. Anyways, I didn't have a original Nintendo, but one of my buddies did, and one of my buddies had a. They probably didn't even hear that. And one of my buddies had like satellite or whatever at the time that I didn't have, so he could watch Pokemon. So I go to his house all the time to play Nintendo and watch Pokemon.
Nice.
It was awesome. He was okay, I guess, but Nintendo and Pokemon, that's what's up.
Someone just suggested that we play Slender, a first-person horror game. You know, I think the whole horror game streaming on YouTube thing has been done to death.
And not interested at all because it's so dumb. And Slender is not scary. Like, what the heck, guys?
You know what? We should totally do like a PewDiePie parody. It's like,
You didn't fall off your chair.
dude, if you're watching, I'm sorry, but that's basically what you look like.
You didn't fall off your chair.
I know, right?
It's not good enough.
I have a laptop that I actually don't want to destroy in my lap, so I
If you
don't
had
want
his
to
many
fall
views,
off
you just
my
buy a new one.
chair. True that. Like, that guy is ballin'.
Like ridiculous.
Like, yeah.
Headphone users are unhappy at the moment. But like, honestly, Slender is not scary. Play it or watch a video. What? Like, no, that game is not scary at all.
Oh, I'm sorry, you guys.
Everyone's unhappy.
Oh, I thought we turned attenuation on. Yeah, it's on. I guess it didn't work.
I think that might have been a little bit. Well, like attenuation will keep it from peaking, but it's still ridiculously loud.
Yeah, I guess. My bad. Yeah, I mean, honestly, PewDiePie's thing, like, where
People are
it's
saying
just
Slick Y. Okay,
Oh, wait, why, what?
PewDiePie's freaking out is cheesy.
so cheesy.
Might be true, but it's cheesy.
It's not true
I really don't think it is.
at all.
I'm talking more about, I don't care about whatever PewDiePie, okay, whatever. Slender, that's what I'm actually talking about. Slender is not a scary game.
What is a scary game to you? Linus, what is your opinion on pubes? Asks one of the viewers in Twitch chat. I think they're curly.
These are technically, they're kind of curly.
Or kinky.
Or yeah.
No, I actually mean like kinked.
Yeah.
Because the female version is kinked and then the male version is curly. It's for friction reduction. I'm actually not even joking.
I just didn't think we were going to get into this. Wow. I don't know. I haven't really played any that have legitimately scared me because they're mostly fairly obvious, but there's some.
I
I'm trying to
enjoyed
think
Fear.
of the name. Fear's pretty good. The little girl, when you come down the ladder and the turn, she's right. Like that's
that
that's
actually like
okay.
Yeah.
That's cool. Slender's not. No.
well, the thing that made Fear scary was that you were never quite because you know how some scary games will have like scary cutscenes, but it's just a cutscene.
You're always in the game with Fear.
Nothing can hurt you in a cutscene. In Fear, some of the freaking cutscenes can kill you.
Yeah.
And it's not even like QuickTime event, like press the button to not die. It's like figure out what to do now, while everything is just messed up
Yeah.
to not die.
See, like that
And you
was
still might
interesting.
die, but it might be okay, or it might not. You might actually be dead. I don't know. The uncertainty is what made it scary to me.
Yeah, definitely. Alan Wake. I might be naming the wrong game. I know Alan Wake is a horror game. I might be naming the wrong game though. Dead Space I haven't played.
Me neither.
I heard Dead Space 1 is what you should play if you want to play Dead Space. Not necessarily Dead Space 2 or 3. But I haven't played any of them, and these are just rumors, so I don't know. But I've heard they're not very good. Bioshock Infinite had a scare moment? Did it? I definitely played the entire game and was probably as thorough as possible. I don't remember there being a scare moment.
Someone asks how my pickle is. My pickle's wonderful, thank you.
Yeah, I don't know. I've also never understood the point of scary games, though.
Michael asks if we're not running the Intel ad today. The snowboard promo's over. We're going to have a new Intel promo running sometime in the next little bit here. But we haven't got it going yet.
That space is startling. Okay, that is a difference.
So, this is a great tweet. Linus, you scared the living Japanese out of me. Dat scream, yo. The guy's name is Surikizu. To scare the Japanese out of someone named Surikizu is sort of impressive.
Good job. Very effective.
Mario Kart is a ripoff of the older Wacky Wheels. Well, whatever. It's a good ripoff.
I don't.
And Yoshi's a boss.
If Mario Kart is a ripoff of older Wacky Wheels, then every single kart game ever, and there's tons, are all a ripoff of everything else as well.
Yeah. You know what's a great game? Rock and Roll Racing. Have you ever played it?
No.
Oh, it's like a top-down racing game for SNES with like, you know, rockets and like it's kind of like if Twisted Metal was like a top-down racing game. It's kind of awesome.
That's pretty cool.
And it's like it's just super fun, and it has like great music, like rock and roll music.
Nice. That's one thing. Another thing about Blood Dragon is just epic music. A while ago on some other stream, I brought up that I had never played the Mega Man series. I got a little bit of flack for that. I never had the money to acquire Mega Man games. I'm sorry. Since then, I have gone out. I have gotten a PS2 Slim, a controller, a memory card, all that kind of stuff, and a disc that is like the 10-year anniversary or something, whatever year anniversary of Mega Man. And it has Mega Man 1 through 8 and 2 non-North American releases on it. And I have started playing through them. Those games are difficult, but they're so much fun. That's one thing that's kind of actually gone away, is the games that are just insanely difficult. Like they pop up every once in a while in major releases, but insanely difficult, pretty short, but long, because it's like you're gonna die. Probably a lot.
Right.
Like,
well, there was
figure this out.
there was that Impossible Mario or whatever you sent me the other day.
Oh my goodness.
I've actually played that before. So it's basically a Mario like clone.
Unfair
Mario, where just like you'll make a jump, but then that section of the floor, like right there, is the only one that actually doesn't just disappear when you land on it. So it's not actually an exercise in playing the game. It's an exercise in memorizing the right spaces to go. And the only way to make it through is sheer trial and error.
So a bunch of people posted Hotline Miami. Hotline Miami is an amazing game. It can be disturbing. So if you're not so into disturbing games, maybe don't play it, because certain elements of Hotline Miami are kind of messed up. I don't want to give any spoilers, so don't go into it. But like, if you want like really fast, if you're okay with gore and disturbing things, because there's lots of it, even though it's mostly like 8-bit-ish style. Not actually 8-bit, but
gore.
like old school graphics, not 8-bit.
Right.
It's kind of just, it's a really good game. The playstyle is awesome. It's super fast paced. When you die, it's just like bam, you're back. But like incredibly fast, bam, you're back. But it's also insanely hard at the same time. So you're expected to die like a whole bunch of times getting through a single level.
Oregon Trail, yay or nay?
Oregon?
Yeah.
There's Oregon Trail now too.
Like organs? Like inside people?
Like zombie version of Oregon Trail.
No way.
Yeah, it's on Steam. It got green lighted. Oregon Trail, and it's all like zombies and stuff.
Did you ever play Odell Lake?
No, but I did play Oregon Trail.
Oh, okay.
And I liked it back in the day.
Try
Played
U-
it at school.
Did you play Yukon Trail?
I think so.
Dino Park Tycoon?
No.
Oh, you didn't play... Do you know Dino Park Tycoon?
I've heard of it, yeah.
Oh, so amazing. And Dino Park Tycoon was just random. Like, you could do exactly the same thing every time at your park, and sometimes lots of people would come to your park, and other times they just wouldn't. Like, it wasn't actually like, you know, if you built a good park, people would come to it. It was just like, if you were lucky, people would come to your park, and then you could build it up really good. It's just so stupid.
That's so messed up.
Yeah. I loved Dino Park Tycoon. It came on 2 floppy disks.
Nice. You know what I really liked was that era where the game would come out on floppy disks, and it was like pretty good. And then they'd have a like exact same thing, CD.
Yeah, I know, right?
It's like, yes!
You know what? TIE Fighter, the CD version, had a great soundtrack.
Sometimes they have like increased quality or whatever.
My 5 floppy disk version did not.
Yeah, exactly.
And TIE Fighter, I think, had like some cinematics and stuff on the CD
Yeah,
version.
sometimes it did add things,
Yeah.
sometimes it was just a direct copy. I know like yeah, I'm gonna forget proper references, but it was usually around where games were about 5 or 6 floppy disks. It was when CD games started becoming really popular. That was really cool.
Someone needs to hardcore like ask LucasArts now that they apparently don't give two craps anymore. Or ask Disney rather, since LucasArts doesn't exist anymore, if they can just remake TIE Fighter with modern graphics.
Honestly, there's so many things Disney should do with that franchise.
I know.
Just remake TIE Fighter. Like, no one's gonna be upset that you just revamped graphics and really released the game. Like, it doesn't matter.
Okay.
I have both. I have two of the Star Fox games.
You know, I didn't enjoy Star Fox. Or Star Fox 64. Didn't do anything for me.
I was a lot more into Star Fox 64, but
Just didn't do it.
I liked it. But I think there were games of similar style that were higher caliber, in my opinion. I can see where it's a great game, but I would rather play other games if I want that type of experience. But I did really like Star Fox 64.
Didn't do it for me. Just, Okay, well, good night, everyone.
This is probably our longest live stream ever.
Yeah, I'm like super, super tired and I need to go to sleep.
Yeah, some guy just said Rogue Squadron greater than Star Fox 64. Like, there was games that I personally would have rather played, but I played Star Fox 64 and it was amazing. Good night, everyone. I'm going to bed. Are you going to bed? Are you coming to bed?
What kind of a thing
was
to
that
say
too
is
far?
that?
Was that too far?
Ew. Turn it off.
I think that's the most forward I've ever been.